good afternoon, good evening, people. We are back again with Talk Football. I am your host, Mr. Anthony CFC. We got Mr. Josh MUFC with us as well. Hello, Mr. Josh. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm very good. I'm still getting used to this thing. Like normally, it's a little bit more. Well, we're getting used to it, so we'll get there. But I'm well. I literally 20 minutes ago walked in the door from work, made an early shift of it. And now I'm here joining you live. So no transition, doing the late hours. But yeah, we're here. We're here. We're. Oh, I've got some shade to throw, but anyway, we'll get into that.
I mean, it is always a learning curve for all of us anyway as we speak, but it's a
100%.
fun thing to do. It's a fun thing to do.
Absolutely.
But yeah, what do you think? England squad, very questionable.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you want, I will quickly just take some liberties and I'll remind people of who's been brought into the squad. And I've got a couple of initial thoughts, which might set up some talking points later, if you're okay with that.
Oh, for sure, bro. Take
Yeah,
it away.
no worries. You do whatever you need to do. But yeah, look, I'll just run through quickly. I've got it on my phone here, but I'll just give you a quick run through for those of you who don't know the extended squad for this round of Nations League. So we'll go from back to front. So goalkeepers, Dean Henderson, Nick Pope, and Aaron Ramsdale. Now, pretty much they're the regular the regular selections each time around. I don't think any of them been any worse or any better than they normally are. Dean Henderson's holding a lot of goals, so I've got that personal vendetta. So that's a bit of a question for me. But in the defenders, we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ben Chilwell, Connor Cody, Eric Dyer, Mark Guehi. I think it might have been his first call up. I'm not too sure. Reece James, Maguire, and Shaw. Why the hell they're in there, I've got no idea. But we'll get onto that a bit later. John Stones, Fikayo Tomori, one of Anthony's Chelsea agents, Kieran Trippier and Cole Walker in the midfield. Jude Bellingham, no surprises, he's lighting it up there over at Dortmund. Mason Mount, Calvin Phillips, Declan Rice, James Ward-Prowse. In the forwards, Temi Abraham, Jared Bowen, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka, and Raheem Sterling, and a new cap for Ivan Toney. Now, on a personal, I find the selection of Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw to be a bit of a joke. They played the first two games, I think it was, for United, and those were the two times that we had goals conceded. And since then, it's been four wins on the bounce, 5 wins on the bounce, and only a handful of goals conceded. Maguire's only made very, very small impacts in these games. It's like I think it's twice off the bench, and one of those he came straight on and got a yellow, but kind of a selfless foul. Luke Shaw has been hopeless, pointless, and for me, this just screams that Gareth Southgate is just going for what he knows best, what's worked for him in the past. And I mean, in that regard, taking that club mentality, you can kind of agree with it. I personally don't. I think that while having the same core there is very important, it also, these players are not exactly match fit. A lot of them aren't actually, and some of them aren't even in form at the moment for their clubs. So why do that? This is the thing that frustrates me the most. Again, he's gone for more fullbacks than he has for outright centre backs. Mark Guehi, I think he's played very well for Palace so far, and he deserves a call up. Ivan Toney's continuing his form for Brentford. I think that's a selection that had to happen. I can probably see him coming on as a late sub in the squad, probably last 20, 30 minutes, just to add a little bit of pace and a little bit of thing when the defenders are tired. He'll probably get in behind, cause some issues, but I mean, it's a very anticlimactic squad, if you ask me, and I feel like it's a bit too defensive again. And Southgate doesn't really seem to be progressing or learning too much when it comes to these squad selections. I feel like the English team have too much attacking talent to sort of play in a low block, to play with more defenders than attackers. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that. I mean, the whole thing is just a bit of a joke for me. And honestly, I'll be fair, I don't really care about internationals, like I've said previously. But I mean, for this as a talking point, I just think he's getting it wrong. I think he needs to go for a little bit more for form. I mean, why not call in Sancho instead of, say, I don't know, instead of Saka, for example? Like, Sancho's bagged a few goals. He's got a couple of assists. He's been in good form at the start of the season, not playing form, but he's putting up the numbers. So, why not? It's just, it's confusing. And to me, that just shows why Southgate has never really been a top manager so far, and just, defended his way to these finals.
No, I get it, bro, completely, and I understand what you're trying to say as well. And I feel the same way about Southgate. I think he's a bit weird, if you know what I mean. I just don't see that he has any ambition in order to what he wants to do. Is That's just how I feel about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, we got Patrick joining us as well, bro. So more the merrier as always. So let
Oh,
me add
definitely.
Patrick onto the show. So yes, Perry, what are you saying?
Welcome.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I, he's not ready yet, but yeah, he's here with us.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's all good.
So, what about you? What do you have any sort of shock inclusions there that you may not have selected for this team? Because, I mean, midfielders kind of
Um,
speak for itself. I think like that they're all pretty decent selections, but very heavily in the defenders. That's what sort of still irks me about this guy.
100% the problem for me, I find Josh, is the inclusion of number one, Harry Maguire. That is a bit weird for me. And apparently, he's also starting this game. And for me, like, Harry Maguire is number one. Luke Shaw is a bit out there for me. I think Ben Chilwell hasn't done enough to deserve to be in the squad, but it is what it is.
Hello,
Uh,
Patrick's forehead. Welcome, Patrick's forehead. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, man, this new setup is failing to work with my Bluetooth headphones. I don't know why. Quite
oh,
weird. Yeah, so I had to go get the other headphones. Now, welcome. I see uh, Gareth Southgate has decided to put a lineup that has more defenders than attacking again. I just don't
mhm.
understand the whole back in England backs this guy. Like, I know he got them to a semi-final. I hear a lot of English managers haven't achieved that, but come on, like this when is England going to learn? Every time they say they've got a golden generation, it always gets screwed up by some manager who has favorites. You know what I mean? It's always like that in the past too. In the past, believe it or not, some of the big names uh, used to just get in just for the sake of a name. They never. If somebody used to like have an amazing season, and you're like, this guy's on fire, couldn't still get in because Michael Owen is Michael Owen. Do you get my point? I get it, it's Michael Owen, but sometimes, like, at least it was Michael Owen, at least it was Lampard, but Maguire is nothing. What is Maguire? What does he want at what level? Like, to be honest with you, Maguire, as much as he might do good for England, it doesn't mean you have to have that sort of loyalty to him, because the thing is, he's not the best defender, even in that England squad. If you
No.
look at the only one who's been consistent is, I think, somebody told me, John Stones. I don't even put attention to John Stones. I would just say he's there. Somebody said the most consistent defender is John Stones, but Tomori not to be playing in that back line is just,
Yeah.
it's just funny. I'm telling you, like, that's the thing is, Maguire has never led anybody to a title, nor has he done anything spectacular. Even in the Euros, it's not him. Other people were good in that back line. I
Mhm.
don't know,
Yeah.
man. Anthony and Josh, I don't see this loyalty. I think, do you know what I think it is? I think it's the loyalty that he likes the guy, but he wants to bring the guy's career up. He knows the guy's career is going towards the bad end. He just wants to keep him in the spotlight so that at least maybe things don't go as bad. I don't know if that makes sense for Maguire.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing for me, because he I think it was earlier today or yesterday your time. He actually came out and was again reinforced that he thinks Maguire is England's best defender. but he hasn't played for the last 4 or 5 games as a starter. He's come on 2 minutes off the bench one time, 15 minutes off the bench another time, and even then, he hasn't been convincing. Like, Ten Hag brought him on to close out the games, and he's been reckless. He's trying too hard, and that's not the way to do it. And I mean, I understand Luke Shaw. I can give him a little bit of a pass. Like, he scored a goal in the final. He's always been decent for England. But these players have not played. They're not match fit. So where is it? The favourites thing has to end.
But isn't it something like let's say what you call, Josh? Like, isn't it that you have to play the players who are currently like on form, because you're going into a World Cup? It's not a joke, isn't it?
Well, see, that's where I'm sort of 50-50. Like, this is about where my care level runs out when it comes to this team. Because, look, I understand what Southgate has tried to implement into the England team. And, arguably, he's been the most successful manager in a couple of generations. A final and a semi-final, I think it was, in the last 2 major tournaments. So, arguably, he's done the best that has been done since the 60s, I think. And the main thing here is that what he's done so far, whether you like it or dislike it, has yielded more success than previous generations, but there's no titles to go with it. So that's where the trade-off is.
By the way, I'm bringing in Mr. Gundu in as well. So let's welcome Mr. Gundu to the channel as well, boys. Good morning.
I know it's probably evening or afternoon where you guys are. I'm not sure.
Oh, it's 10:15 in the night, bro.
Quarter past 10 at night. Absolutely.
It was 8:15 in the morning here. I just got the kids off on the bus.
Yeah. Nah, we were just discussing about this England squad, Gundu. It's not. I don't know, man.
I think let me give my opinion. I've said for years that England will win nothing with Southgate. They won't. They have the players to win championships, but they will not win anything with Gareth Southgate. Why? He's not competent enough to win a championship. He's not.
Yeah.
And I jokingly talk about Southgate's back 8. Right? This dude will play. I'm telling you,
you're not wrong.
He'll play 10 defensive players because he's afraid. He's too afraid to win. He's too afraid to win and rather not lose. He'd rather sit back and defend and rather than go for the win. Let's look at the final against Italy the last time around, right? You're 1-0 up, right? And then you sit back and try to do what? At home in the final in a packed Wembley Stadium. The guy's not good enough for England, man. I'm sorry.
Just on that, look at that midfield that he's named. Mason Mount and Jude Bellingham are arguably the only creative and progressive players there. You've got Ward-Prowse, Rice, and Phillips, all sort of defensively or more like backtracking minded. So it's one of those things. Like, I just feel like that he, as you say, back 8, back 10, whatever. It's just. It's sit back and hope for the best.
It's just, I mean, you think about his pedigree, right? Where is it? Middlesbrough got them relegated or something? There's no real pedigree. There's really no real pedigree. What's his pedigree?
Yeah, he coached the under. The other thing is the only reason why apparently that's working for him is because he was the guy managing most of these guys at under 21 or something.
What did they win?
Nothing. So they thought that, okay, because he's done this. You know what? Do you know what Southgate was sold as, Carl? He was sold to the people as somebody who's just looking after the team for now, to just bring a bit of just bring harmony until they look for somebody else. But boom, they got impressed by his I am the yes man. I'll say yes to everything. So I don't know.
So this is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer 2.0.
Well, Josh, just think, Josh. I mean, would you have them at United? Anthony,
No,
would you have them at
hell
Chelsea?
no.
Well,
No.
this is it, right? So if he's not good enough for United and Chelsea, what makes him good enough for England?
You know, the other thing, I think the best suited manager for England right now is the manager that Chelsea has currently, Graham
I
Potter.
agree with that. I agree with that. I
Really?
agree with that. I think he's innovative.
I really think so.
I think he understands the game. He understands patterns of play, right? The way Brighton played was adventurous. Yes, they lack that cutting edge, but they don't have the players that England have, right? Up front, Kane, Sterling, and all these guys. But this dude, man, I'm just sorry, man. I mean, what killed it for me was the penalty shootout against Italy, right? Right? You're the manager. You put on these kids, these boys, right? Rather than going to the trusted, tried lieutenants who are supposed to be the leaders of the team. And you turn around, you pick Saka and Sancho and all these guys. You kidding me?
Rashford, yeah.
The biggest problem that I have with regards to all of this is, right, you look at the goalkeepers. Dean Henderson has done well for himself for Nottingham Forest, and Nick Pope and Aaron Ramsdale, they're all okay, that's good enough. Trent, I don't know, it's a debatable situation. Ben Chilwell, again, another debatable choice. Connor Cody, I would say definite in there. Eric Dyer, definite in there, played well. Mark Gurhey, all good. Reece James also sort of is okay because he has been good in Chelsea. Harry Maguire hasn't played a single game for Manchester United. I don't know why he's in there. Luke Shaw played maybe
two.
one or two, right? So 2 games, and I just don't see him in there. John Stones definitely has to be in there. Fikayo Tomori definitely has to be in there. Kieran Trippier, I think the best fullback in England right now with Kyle Walker.
Can I say something though? Can I say something? Regardless of the fact that the best fullback or Walker and him are the best at what they do, why does he insist or persist or whatever you call it to ignore people like Mitchell who are left backs and can actually do the job? Like Mitchell is not bad. Like why does he ignore the left back? I know there's not many, but there's people left backs who can do the job. Trust me, like Mitchell. Why does he persist to do that and then plays right backs all the time? And
Bro,
then
this is my other question. Why can't he select somebody like Tyrone Mings? We know he's not the best out there, but Tyrone Mings has shown something better than Harry Maguire. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
No,
you're right. Yeah, it's fair. It is fair.
I'm not saying
isn't that Kakowski, whatever it is? Actually, he's actually English. Yeah, he's English.
Ben Mee's been doing all right too.
Do you see that? Do you see that, Carl? He's actually English, and he doesn't select Kakowski, but he selects Maguire, who's in bad form.
Well, I mean, to Josh's point, I mean, Josh knows Maguire more than anyone here because he has to live through the pain of Maguire performance. And by the way, I think the Varane and Martinez are probably the best. No, I think they're your best. I think the fact that at least your manager got rid of them, I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. Your manager knows what he's doing, right? But tells you, right, that if Southgate is picking Maguire to start today, according to reports, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, are you serious? Yep. What are you trying to play him into form?
Yeah, this is going to kill him because he's obviously got his eye to the World Cup. Like this is the last break before that happens. Now, I said just before you guys came in, Maguire's not match fit, and he started the first 2 games, and then he's been used as a sub in 2 of the last 4 or 5. Now, the problem there is that unless I guess he's going to do the low block as he usually does, but there's a point where loyalty has to go out the window because these guys, when they have played, haven't performed, and when that comes to a real pointy end of this year, when the World Cup starts, he's going to have to make I think he's going to have to make more of a trade-off on players who are in form at the time versus sticking to what's kind of worked with him. Because, again, he's going up against better international teams in the World Cup than he would be just in the Euros. You've got to face Argentina. You've got to face Brazil. You've got, the couple of African countries could have a dark shout. Like, these teams play more attacking fluid football, and sitting in a back 10, a 10-0-1 formation, it's just not going to work. Not against these teams.
By the way, Annie has also joined us in our chat against England, and Annie actually has a lot to say about this. And
I'll make one point right. You have to get off the stage. So, Josh, what is clear? What we know, right? Because we know football, right? Is if you're starting Maguire today, he's playing a back 3. because we all know he can't expose Maguire to playing the back two. We know Maguire will be fried, and he's not match fit.
That's right.
So we know Southgate's going to play a back three, which is going to be 3-4-3, or it's going to be 5. Like you said, it's going to be 5-3-2 or some shit like that, right? That's what he's going to do, because that's what he does.
Yeah,
that's what this guy does. That's what he does. You got the players from City, Liverpool, United playing 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. This guy plays the back three, back 8. I just don't understand it.
See, there is another question that I need to ask you boys. Have you boys seen what has come out today with regards to the men's player of the year for England? Apparently, it's Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, don't
What? It's what? It's what?
Yeah.
No. Guys, can I jump in here a second?
Yeah.
That's Empress. Not go ahead, Danny.
I'm all for, guys, I'm all for propping up a youth, the mandem, a guy, a black youth as well. Yeah, let me not even touch on that. But it's Bukayo Saka because of what? Why is it why is Saka winning?
We know, Annie. We all know why he's been given. It's to cover the wounds and to try to cover the fact that England hates is racist, and after the racism and stuff, it's just a way to cover and get the story that we're supporting this young black man. Let's be truthful. That's what it is.
Well, this is just as bad as the whole aerial thing. Like, oh my goodness, gee,
bro. I was shocked to see it, because I was thinking, all right, if somebody deserves to be the player of the year from, looking at the Euros, I would probably say it's Raheem Sterling.
Yep, spot on. Spot on. Somebody said Raheem is probably the most consistent and best player England has, but they always cover the golden boy Kane, and he was right. I looked at it properly. It's actually Raheem who carries England. And funny enough, Kane goes missing and just scores one pen or one thing. The whole back page, the picture is Kane. Yet Raheem has assisted 3 or scored 2. It's just in life. It's good to be honest. Let's just be honest. There is your golden boy.
If it wasn't for Raheem, England won't make that final, bro.
Exactly.
Raheem carried you guys through that
penalty tax.
stage.
Saka is penalty tax.
Saka is penalty tax. Oh my,
bro. Gundo, you were on a little bit of a train, I believe. Sorry to cut you off, but
I saw it this morning and I tweeted, "Is this a joke?" I think you see seriously, I thought it was a joke. I thought maybe somebody's having fun. It was April Fool's Day, because give me one reason why Saka is player of the year for England. Give me one reason why.
Because Arsenal fans say
Sympathy.
that he's the best
It's a
English
sympathy
player.
vote.
There's no justifiable reason why. And I'm not hating on him or everything else. I think he's overrated. That's my opinion. I think he's a good player. I think he's clearly overrated, right? But because of this whole thing about and equality and trying to do this and all that stuff, and he got abused racially. I get it. You have to compensate for that, right? Which is wrong, in my opinion. But Declan Rice was
tokenistic. The whole thing was tokenistic.
Declan Rice was a better player for England than.
Even Phillips was better. Phillips was better.
So what are we talking about?
Even in here, even in this England setup, right? I don't understand why they included Calvin Phillips or Mason Mount. Mason Mount has been very bad this season. Not yet.
Phillips has been injured.
He has not been
existed.
I'm not saying that.
Exist.
This is the thing. Nobody's saying that none of these players are bad players, but these players haven't shown from the start of the Premier League until now to deserve a position in the England squad. That's all anybody is saying, isn't it?
Do you know that another thing you accept in life? You accept certain things. Like for instance, the Kevin Phillips one. The only reason why I look at it with even Declan Rice, if say Rice was sacked or did not play well, it's very hard to find who is a defensive midfielder very good, worth taking to the World Cup. I would understand that, but do you know what pisses me off? It's the defense, because there's a lot of defenders out there who are English and who are better than most of the people they pick. Even Tyrone Mings, when he was picked, he wasn't the best that time. Some of these guys were better. Like Tarkowski, whatever his name is. I hate saying his name. He has,
Tarkovsky.
he's been so
Tarkovsky.
he rarely makes mistakes. And he's good at passing from the back. Even Ben Me, but they never
Ben
do.
Me,
Dubu.
Tarkovsky. Who is that?
Toski.
Who
Who else was there?
Dan Burns for Newcastle.
Oh, Dunk,
He's English.
Webster.
Dunk,
Yeah.
Dunk.
Louis
Even
Dunk.
Louis Dunk, Webster. There's so
Bro,
many.
And Annie, I know you were itching to say a lot of things about this, and you were saying
This
to me
back
about
line.
this since Monday, bro.
Oh
Go
my
ahead.
goodness! This
Floor's yours.
weight. Can you not hear me? Can everyone
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
me? This
Loud and
waistcoat.
clear.
This waistcoat merchant. So you're telling me, in your mind,
Excuse me.
World Cup, you chose to take Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw after watching them drop dire performances each game, and you thought this was an okay idea. Like, let's just understand it. Remember this is how you know Southgate's a liar. Remember what he said, the first thing he said when he stepped through as England manager. I'm gonna play guys who are playing
Best
club
of form.
football, best in form.
Yeah.
Out of those players, how many of them are playing in form?
He's a fraud. He's a fraud. That's what he said. He said,
Mike.
do you remember what he said? He says there's a lot of tribalism, and this was caused because of people not picking people based on their performances. I'll come here and it's fair for everybody. That's what he said.
Like, I'm trying to understand this whole. I understand if he's trying to say, let me build like a club mentality where everyone plays and the players are consistent. But my God, everybody who's even fans who are not even England fans know who Harry Maguire is. Not even for a good reason.
Anthony, you know the problem, Anthony. You know the problem, right? The problem nowadays is the fact that fans on Twitter, on Spaces, are so intelligent. We see through all the bullshit. So when the manager misbehaves like this, it's almost annoying because we see it, Josh. We talk about the stuff every on
100%.
YouTube. We know that we analyze games. We look at players. We know this shit. We know it really well. So when you have a manager come out and do things that are like, and he says one thing, he does the other, we're like, no, you lost integrity, bro. If you stick to your line that players that inform are going to play, you get the respect, win, lose, or draw.
You
I'm
haven't.
just gonna pop a question.
Just
Just before
wanna
we
ask a
go to your
Sorry.
question, Josh, I just want to go into the comments and read what these boys have been saying in the background, boys and girls, hopefully. I don't know. But yeah, we have Annie before joining us saying, Vader, welcome. And Vader, if you're watching this, bro, I think I've shared the link. If you want to jump in, more than welcome, bro. Anytime.
100%.
Hello, handsome fellas. Thank you, Twisted, as always. Patrick,
That was
only
aimed at me as always.
He's only
And my
talking
forehead.
to Josh.
And my
yes, Patrick
forehead.
wanted the link. Everybody's all
He's
good.
only talking to Josh.
And
He
the
loves me.
United players may play into form representing England. Positive for United.
Relax. None of those two United players are playing into
Take
any
rest.
form. Like,
That's
bro,
what
take rest.
that's Annie. That's what he wants. That's what I said at the beginning. I think he likes Shaw. He likes Maguire, and you know that English mentality where if these are fellow Englishmen, I think he wants to play them into form, and he wants to play them into the United team. Trust me, that's what he wants because
Maybe
Now
he
that
wants
makes him
to be
look
the.
good.
Pat, let me
Maybe
give you
he
a
wants to
newsflash.
be the United manager after
Let
Eric
me
Ten
give you
Hag.
a
We don't know.
newsflash.
Nah,
Let
allow it. Nah,
Pat,
Anthony, relax. I
let me
see
give
what
you
you're trying to
newsflash,
do
okay?
there.
Go ahead, Carl.
Those two English boys, Maguire and Shaw, are never getting to that United squad again.
No.
No,
No,
it's
100%.
done. It's cooked. Okay. So take that to the bank, right? With Martinez,
100%.
Varane, and Malacia, it's done. It's cooked.
Form centre backs of the competition.
Maybe Europa
And-
League, maybe Carabao Cup, but not the Premier League. It's cooked.
100%. And yep, Vader watching us say Southgate doesn't show the bravery. Exactly right, Gondo. Exactly right.
100%.
What has a back three containing Maguire ever won? False narrative. Player of the year for Saka is not allowed to take penalties for England. Make it make sense. 100%. So who should have won it? In our eyes, we all thought it was either Declan Rice or Raheem Sterling, but I think Raheem was more
Raheem.
pivotal
Raheem
than
Shillings should have won that.
Raheem Shillings. Smash a like as always, boys. Yes, boys and girls watching, please smash a like, share it. You are all welcome to say whatever you want, whether it's a good opinion, bad opinion. We read it out, we acknowledge it, doesn't matter to us. And Twisted's thought on all of this is whether it is white privilege.
Twisted, we're not
Could
allowed
be.
to. We're not allowed to say stuff like that. We might get in trouble. You know, the English fans will come for us.
I don't think it's W. I don't think it's WP. I don't think
WP.
it is. I just have to, I think it's just the man is afraid of his own shadow. He's just afraid of his shadow, and he's not competent enough to play an attacking style. He's just not. Doesn't trust
Oh
himself.
my god! No, but think about it this way.
See,
Maguire-
one other the
Maguire.
other thing just wanted to add before you guys go on about this whole thing about him playing unattractive football.
Wait,
You
are you
can
throwing
play
us out already? Before you guys
No.
go?
I'm just saying, like, unattractive football can be quite effective. Case in point, Antonio Conte. This
Jose
guy,
Mourinho.
Jose
Agreed.
Mourinho,
Agreed.
even Thomas Tuchel for like he won a bloody Champions League playing that way, right?
Pep Guardiola.
Patrick, enough.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it. But
No, wait.
But this guy has nothing, isn't it? It's absolutely
No.
nothing. It's not attractive. It's not effective. What is it?
There's no identity at all.
I've got a question. I've got a question to follow on from
Josh,
that. Actually,
please.
Go ahead.
Go on, Josh.
no, it's a question to follow that exact point. Now, it's sort of a two-part question. Part one: does the England, not this squad in general, but does England in general have enough talent to go on and win a World Cup or a Euros? Just as the first question.
They
I think they do.
without him.
No,
I
just
think
bear with me. So
It's a
you
good
think
question,
England has
Josh.
enough talent? Do you think England players have enough talent to at least compete? Because they've
No,
shown they can.
don't just say that England itself, I think, has enough talent.
Hold on,
If you
Patrick.
look properly, you can win the
Let me
World
try to answer
Cup.
a question from Josh.
Yeah.
So Josh, let's take the last Euros as an example, right? England got an easy path towards the semi-final, except for Germany were in a hole. They weren't good, right? England got to the final. England took the lead in the final. The difference, the delta between England winning and losing was the calls from the manager, his tactics. England were one up. Now, think about a Klopp or Guardiola or even a Brighton or even a Eric Ten Hag, right? 1-0 up, he's going for the kill.
He's put his foot on their neck.
2 and 3 and 4 because it's a final at home. You have the crowd. That's the failure of Southgate.
Could you imagine? Everyone, Luke Shaw. Remember, Luke Shaw is the one that scored the first goal. And what happened? These men retreated back.
So to answer your question, Josh, if they play Brazil, Argentina in the quarters, semifinals, they're going out. They don't have the squad. But if they get a good path towards the semis and the finals, this is where the manager comes into play. And unfortunately, they have Southgate.
Gundo, it's not even that. It's are they going to get out of the group? Are they going to get out of the group playing like how they? Well, you know, we'll know after tonight's game. But are they these guys? Come on, you've watched the nation. Everyone's like Nations League is not anything, but you can tell the barometer of a good team just by watching them play. I swear we're bottom of the group.
Yes,
I swear we're bottom with 1 point.
Oh, is it?
Italy haven't even been that great.
Yeah, let me check that.
Yeah.
We're bottom of the group. Italy haven't been great, and we lost to who is it? Who else are we there? Who did we lose 4-0 to?
It was Hungary.
This is why I'm happy I have dual nationality, because now I could be like, hey, Nigerians, rise up. We're not at World Cup, but we can banter all them useless Englishmen who have hopes and dreams. Like, allow it, man. You lost to Dominic Szoboszlai and them, man, and old man playing up front.
Don't slander my man Big D. He's a talent.
Can't believe it. No, I like Dominic. He should. I like Dominic.
Yeah. Now the next part of that question is: do you feel that maybe I don't know the English football FA? I don't know who the main sort of international people over there are, but should they perhaps go for a more cultured coach? Because I can speak for personal experience. 2006 World Cup, when Australia made it to the finals against Italy, we had Gus Hiddink as our manager.
Mhm.
Now, an Australian manager got us through all the qualification, etc., but they went, okay, someone who is cultured, who is experienced. We went straight for hello, Patrick's forehead again. Someone who's experienced, and he got us a win, a draw, and a loss, and we were competitive. Mind you, at that point we had Harry Kane, Mark Viduka, Tim Cahill, Brett Emerton, some good players. Anyway,
Mark Viduka, what a legend.
Yeah, a beast. Yeah, but do you think it's time that they go, look, we're going to remove the English tax and go get someone like a
Josh,
No.
say a Jose
English
Mourinho?
tax,
or
English tax
throw-
exists because
I'm gonna
it's
throw
not
a wrench
Queen
in
Lizzie
this.
anymore. It's
I'm gonna
now
throw a
King
wrench.
Charles.
I'm going to throw a wrench in this, Josh, and I'm
Yeah.
going to pull your argument. I'm going to pull that thread through. I think Serena
Yeah, go for it.
Wiegman, right, would do better than Southgate.
Probably.
She has the pedigree, she has the experience, and she's tactically spot on. The reason why the Englishmen won the Euros is because of that woman. I'm telling you. I've
Yes.
watched all the
Yeah.
games. She's tactically completely sound. Her substitutions, her game plan, everything was spot on. She would even be better than this guy. This guy, I'm sorry, it just doesn't have the pedigree.
Oh, bro, could we do that? Do you think we're allowed to do that? Give her the job.
be-
We can
like,
give her the job, can't we?
To be
So
fair,
maybe in the
just
year
to,
2035, maybe.
to be fair, just to add on Gundu's point, I think even Emma Hayes from
Oh.
Chelsea, the Chelsea
I agree.
women's coach,
Hey.
I agree.
she's bloody
Oh,
brilliant.
you and your Chelsea agents, mate. You and your
But
Chelsea
no,
agents.
but Emma Hayes is
No,
actually
Emma
good.
Hayes
Like,
is actually
she's
very
Nah,
actually
she's
good.
quality. She's quality. I get
She's
that.
actually good. I'm wondering, it's not even the people that are getting picked, it's the football association itself. Our football association is probably the bottom tier of football, but we supposedly created the sport. But we can't win the trophy, can
To
we?
be fair, I believe Chelsea took the next England manager. That's just my feeling. And it's-
one of the two.
yeah, one of the two. But yeah, going back on to
Don't forget the
comments,
Newcastle one. The Newcastle one, you can also
Yeah,
do.
Eddie Howe and Potter
Eddie
are
Howe,
probably
Eddie
the
Howe,
best,
yeah.
the best
Yeah.
suited.
Two fair
Do you know
shouts.
what we should do? Do you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna throw a spanner in the works. Do you think, as much as everyone says he's past it, would you give a shot to someone like Arsene Wenger or Jose Mourinho to come and shit house
Jose
a
Mourinho
Mourinho, yes.
in an international format would be fire.
Could you
I'll
imagine?
tell you why.
He's
Mourinho
only
would
doing
win it.
Stormzy comps.
I'll tell you why after I go through the comments. England has enough players and talent to compete, but does not have enough talented management ideas to compete. This is coming from Veda Games, and I
Shout out,
actually
Veda.
agree with him, bro.
Shout
Shout
out,
out.
Veda.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
But and with regards to Jose Mourinho, number one, he can't bitch about players or buy players because you deal with what you got. Number one,
Mhm.
and you know he is set up. His mindset is exactly what a team needs to win a tournament.
Mhm.
He's so good at that.
See, and this is another thing. Like going from Southgate to Mourinho wouldn't be such a massive sea change for these players who've been playing this sort of pragmatic kind of way for the last 4 or 6 years or whatever. And Mourinho would just bring out that winning side of them because he doesn't lose finals. It's plain and simple.
Twisted, relax.
So
Twisted, relax.
According to Twisted, you should bring back Ole.
Guys, you hear this? We should
Do
bring back
it.
the guy that. We should bring back the guy that got so close yet was so far. No,
I think
no.
Odi can do better than Southgate. I'm just saying.
I
I
think
think
so.
Yeah, we know that, but like,
Ole will try to bring Erling Haaland to England. I'm pretty
no,
sure about
could you
this.
imagine switch allegiances?
Hey,
By the way-
Erling, you got to
Erling.
dual citizenship. Erling, come play for England.
Erling,
come play for
come.
England, Erling.
By the way, now that we have two City boys here, and
Oh
we
my
got an
God.
England fan and everybody, I'm just being impartial here, and I'm just gonna
I'm
ask
not
the
an
question:
England fan. Relax.
Is Erling Haaland a better striker or a better footballer than Harry Kane?
No. See, the
Striker,
question.
yes. Footballer, no.
No. Better finisher, yes. Footballer, no.
Patrick?
Can I say something to all of you guys?
By the way, I'm not here to judge or anything. I'm just here to ask the
I
question.
think the
and that's
the Premier League has to remember this, right? And I hope we're on the same timeline. Holland, when he wasn't at Dortmund, when he was at Dortmund also, you could see he can play football. Guys don't get it. It depends on what the manager tells you. He can play football, and when he was young, you will see a lot of dribbles. When he was at Modo, even at Salzburg, when he was playing against Liverpool, you notice in that game he was doing more than he's doing at City. I think people will see difference very soon. But let's not forget that this same Harry Kane that we are all twerking for these days, it's because of Jose Mourinho. I keep telling people he unlocked a certain Kane we never saw before. Do you remember what people used to say about Kane? Oh, Kane is a T-trunk. He just sits in front of the goal and taps in. Do you remember, Annie? Those were the jokes. It's the same. I remember years ago, and I remember I never knew Kane could play how he's playing these days until Mourinho. I don't know what Mourinho told him, and he had the best assists and goals, and that's the best football we saw from Kane. And Kane that time wasn't even young. When Kane was 21 years old going up, he wasn't doing all that. He was just walking. He was just walking around in the front. So I'm telling people that I think very soon, Holland will reach a certain age also where somebody will tell him like, bro, I want you to do this and that. He can actually play football.
Patrick, no, Patrick. No. See, I have a different perspective. I don't. The guy's scoring goals. 11 goals or 13 goals in 8 games. That's all I don't care about. I don't want you to go back and start to lay off passes and have 100 touches. I don't want that from you. Right? No. Let De Bruyne and Bernardo do all that kind of stuff. You be the killer in the box. Right? Let Harry Kane fool around with Antonio Conte playing being number 10, being number 8, and twerk. Let England twerk for it. I don't want that for you, Erling Haaland. In the Champions League, you have a record. You have a record of 25 goals in 21 games. That's all I want from you. In the box, kill off the goal. Period. Let people talk. You just keep scoring goals. When you're Harry Kane's age, let's look back and see how many goals you scored, how many trophies you've won, how many leagues you've won, how many UCLs you've won, and then we can compare. Right now,
okay, this is it. Right
just
now,
keep scoring.
I think the argument is player versus player. Now, Kane is experienced and more accomplished, not in titles, but when it comes to an overall footballer, I feel like he offers more than Haaland does right now. Like I've seen Haaland at Dortmund, and he's got enough to beat a man. He's strong enough to push people off him.
But Josh, it depends on what you mean by more. Are you talking about more goals or more build-up?
No. I'm talking about, for me, Kane is a more complete player overall, as in he can hold up a ball, he can create plays, he can
because he's 29 years old, maybe.
No, I think
yes,
Josh is
this
right.
is what I'm saying. It's the experience, but Haaland, there's no reason why he can't go on to do that.
Right.
But at City, I don't think he will do that because he is essentially
a
target man right now.
He doesn't need
when the whole Kane and Haaland debate was on years ago, I was begging and pleading, please do not get Kane. I beg you, City, please do not get Kane.
I remember this guy was the only one out of all the City fans.
I was screaming.
He never wanted Kane anywhere near the
team. I do not want Harry Kane. Because there's nothing Harry Kane can't do that De Bruyne can do in terms of build-up play. De Bruyne is quicker, faster, better passer, better midfielder. We need a killer in the box.
Yeah.
And to me, in terms of finishing, Harry Kane cannot touch Erling Haaland.
No,
nowhere near.
Agreed.
No.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah. Can I say something, Carl? Before you finish, you know what I've noticed also? The reason why I've been fighting in his corner and I say watching his old videos is this is what's happening, right? The kid has come in. There were a lot of doubters, Josh. So the kid has come in. The kid has come in, Carl, and he's surpassed what people were doubting. And the doubters are getting scared, Josh, that he's going to reach certain numbers, which are hard. So what they've decided to do, Carl, is they've decided to go to the golden boy and try to bring out something else. So you're right. As a striker, he's cheating. As a striker, he's cheating on Harry Kane. So what they've decided to do, Carl, as they did in the beginning, is let's bring Kane's assisting.
I'm not. I said from day one.
I'll tell you one thing. Both of those strikers is better than that noodle man.
We don't talk about him.
Gundo, do you know what we call him? Do you know what we call that guy? Scouse Tarzan. That's
you
what
call
we call
him
him.
that. You call
Scouse Tarzan.
But Carl said it, and he warned the Liverpool fans. I remember, Carl, you were saying Cow used to watch Nunes, and Cow wanted Nunes after Haaland. But Cow said one thing about Nunes. He said he's not Haaland, but you need to coach him a certain way, and he can be a killer. And Cow wanted him, but Cow, I remember there's a stream where he warned Liverpool fans that be careful with this comparison. You're putting this kid in a very difficult situation.
The kid came from Benfica. I mean, he's had one good season in the Champions League.
Secunda, he was in Secunda.
He needs to be coached.
Bro,
It's kind of like the kid who's in a hurry to make a point, and so he's overthinking and overkicking.
That's exactly the vibe I get from him. I admire the vibe that he gives out. He's like, oh, I need to somehow do something quickly. But if I can't do it, I get very angry.
Because
but what
of
happens
Josh.
after that?
It's because of Josh.
Josh,
Josh put pressure on Nunes indirectly.
Well, I mean, there's no surprise that
He watches.
Klopp
He
has taken him
watches
out
and
of the
said,
firing
"Oh."
line, right? Because I think he needs to just be coached and just kind of relax, take him out the firing line. The kid is good, man. I'm telling you, that kid is good. He's not a bad player. Just needs time to adjust and to relax.
I get it. I completely understand that, and this is the thing. Coming back into the England talk, to be honest. So, essentially, what would you guys like to see before going into the World Cup to at least consider England a threat going into the World Cup? Because in my eyes, right now, I could think of maybe 3 to 4 teams that is actually very good, and I believe maybe Brazil might be one of them. Argentina might be one of them. I think
The Netherlands.
The Netherlands, sort of, but for me, I'm thinking Argentina, Germany with Hansi Flick, by the way, not the other guy. This is Hansi Flick's Germany. Yeah, not the guy who
The butt sniffer.
the guy who tries the guy who tries to find gold inside his nose and then shakes your hand. Nope, not that guy. And maybe the Netherlands, because I'm not putting France in there because I seen France's injury list, and that's a bit peak, to be honest.
Yeah. Looking kind of.
But yeah, and England would be the next thing. So what would you guys
But then what about
need
Spain?
to get
What
that
about
confidence?
Spain? What about Spain?
Spain hasn't
everyone's
shown
sleeping on
enough.
Spain.
Spain are not very defensively good somehow.
Yeah, but
I think maybe
the manager.
I think it's when
Enrique.
And you know what? Thank God to them that maybe at least they got Laporte, and they must be praying that he must get fit, because Garcia, my God, no.
Bro, how could you try to win a World Cup with Alvaro Morata leading the line for you?
Look, they almost got to the final. You can't really say how can you,
bro.
Enrique worked it.
Emphasis on almost.
Wait a minute.
See,
Can I ask, why is there no Spanish striker that's balling right now? It was Weneke Williams, but now he's going to Ghana.
No, Inaki Williams.
No, they need somebody from Brazil to.
Yeah,
come
but he
so
chose
that
Ghana
they
because
can
they're
give
not
him a
picking him
Spanish-
up. They're not picking him. I think we're not. Look.
Spain needs a striker from Brazil to come into La
That guy
Liga and
from
start playing.
Villarreal. What's his name again? The striker from Villarreal.
What's his name? Gerard Moreno. Gerard Moreno.
Isn't he any good?
I heard he's
okay.
injured right now.
Yeah, but Anaki Williams would have qualified for Spain, but they were not picking him, and they were picking Morata, who wasn't even doing great. And then I think Williams just said, you know what, they're not going to pick me, so let me just go to Ghana. Now he's in Ghana twerking. He was twerking in a video.
I seen that with Tariq Lamptey.
With Tariq Lamptey and all them. But they know they're not going to get into these other national teams, so why not?
Yeah, but Williams could have been great for them. Williams could have been great.
Yeah, but they weren't choosing
Inaki
him.
Williams would have been really, really good.
Even
That's why they
Lamptey
said
could
he
have been
has to-
great for England, man. I know that there's Walker, but Lamptey could have been great to be on the bench.
I think in Spain, I think there's a preference to play this false nine system. So
Yeah.
the nine
It's Enrique, isn't it? Oh yeah.
It's
It's
Enrique.
Enrique. I told
By the
you,
way,
but he's looking for his
Twisted
new David
says-
Villa.
By the way, Twisted says France, if they turn up, could be unstoppable.
Turn up,
France,
yeah.
if they turn up, one thing, the hospitals would be empty. because all their players are currently there.
Stop it. But can I say one thing, man?
Anthony, don't forget the witch doctor too. Don't forget the witch doctor.
The witch doctor, the hyenas.
Can I say one thing,
Second
guys?
hyenas within.
Can I say one thing on France, man? I want to say shout out to marriage. Marriage tax is very strong.
Oh my god!
Bloody hell!
Nah, let me land. Getting married sometimes, I used to say, why should I get married? I think some things in life are just meant to be. I think some things in life will just help you. Shout out to the woman who wifed Dembele. Cow. Dembele is playing CM. He's playing creator in the team. He's playing left winger, right winger. He's all over the pitch. First 9. Cow. This is the Dembele we were all looking for, and we knew. Do you know what I said?
How do you know
Dembele is better than Mbappe?
Not witchcraft. How do you know his wife?
It's the hyena, bro.
Fit now.
It's the hyena's head, bro.
Cow, the woman is feeding him well, you know. I think the issue used to be video games. You know that, Cow? He used to like video games a lot, and he would show up to training while he's tired.
He wouldn't
because
show up
playing
to
video
training
games.
because of it.
Now he's getting sexual healing, bro. That's the best medicine for it.
Nah, but Cow, we let's be honest.
Why you laugh, Manny?
I always thought Dembele is better. Dembele is better than Mbappe. It's just that Dembele was never taking football seriously.
More than taking serious, Dembele stayed most of his time in a hospital rather.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Because of his life outside football. That's what the coach, even the Spanish coach, said. The one who's teaching Spain when he was in Barcelona, said Dembele doesn't take his outside life for football well. But if you think about a player, I think he is more scary and better than Mbappe. It's just that he could have been something, but I think he will, because I've seen the guy is still young. Fair play to him. So now he can still fix himself. Because what I have seen from him, even in the front, the pass he did in the French team, my God, man, my God. I'm telling you, this is why I was telling fans when they were laughing at him when when Barcelona wanted to throw him away. I told people, this is a player who you have to just get discipline in him, and you're sorted.
Bro, I wanted him at Chelsea. I swear. He was so good.
Yeah, you could have been so lucky, because that's when you could have got him where he's got married.
Yeah, and this is the other thing, right? With France, people don't understand. They're getting, all these other things, good players, everything. They're getting the witch doctors, they get hyenas heads, they get the Pogba issues, they get death threats.
Okay, who's doing the hyena thing? Is it Pogba's brother?
Apparently, bro.
Yeah.
But can we talk? Okay, so since we're on France, can we talk about one person, guys? Am I the only one who thinks that this boy is becoming no? It's a good topic to touch on, especially with the World Cup coming.
100%.
So this guy Mbappe, who's chief for Mbappe these days, that's what he calls himself, decided that he's not going to join the photo shoot for KFC, which the national team was doing. Right now, KFC want to sue the French National Team Association or something because of Mbappe refusing. So, guys, here's a question to you guys: do you think Mbappe ego is going to ruin him?
Wait,
it already
sorry?
has.
Just wanted to touch back. Did you call him Mbappe or did you call him what? Did you call him another name?
I said Chief or Mbappe.
Chief or Ga.
That just went over my head, and I'm like, wait, did I miss something? Holy shit!
No, Kao and Ani will know because they're from Nigeria, so they know what Chief or Ga means.
Hey.
But this is the problem, right? Everybody was talking about when Mbappe got his new contract and all those other things, right? Apparently, that contract is only 1 year as well, and
what?
he can decide
what? It's what?
It's 1 year.
Apparently, it's 1 year.
It's 1 year, and the next year it's his choice.
Kao, did you know all this?
Everyone.
It's Kao here.
I didn't know it was 1 year, man. But I'm not surprised. It's a World Cup.
What is this boy doing, though, Kao? You voted for him.
Hold on, Patrick.
The money this guy is on. Imagine the money this guy is on, and he has choice of who comes in for PSG.
Those are lies, I think so. Those are lies.
No. You see, this is
in a
Let
strategic
let
way,
let
right?
let Cal go. Let Cal go.
Think about this in a strategic way, right? There was no way in hell that Mbappe was going to go to Real Madrid when the president of France calls you, when the Emir of Qatar calls you, and there's a World Cup.
You
He's not gonna
exactly. He's
Yeah.
not
right?
going
Right?
anywhere.
If he had gone, it's basically political suicide for his future. But
Mhm.
now that he stayed one more
Yeah.
year in Paris and is playing, for PSG with Qatar World Cup, right? He's built in the social capital in the bank he can use for the future when he retires.
Yeah.
Which is why, no surprise, it's a 1-year contract and he can leave right when he wants to leave. It's smart on his part. It's the right thing to do.
But is he gonna go?
that's the-
Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's the key thing to pull on here, because he had Real Madrid lined up. They had the cash. They were ready to spend it on him. And for me, the fact that he stayed, whatever, but he stayed in a farmers league where he bags goals every year, regardless of whether he's in form or not. He's always got things served up to him. He'll go and do his 20 plus goal contributions, 30 plus goal contributions, or whatever. But he didn't go and actually try and challenge himself. La Liga is infinitely more difficult than the League One, Ligue 1, whatever you want to pronounce it. And the problem I have with him is that he took them so hard for a ride that, and if it's only for 1 year, it's clear that it's just for the World Cup. So he's still going to be the leading man because he's there in the biggest club in France. Well, not the biggest club, but you know what I mean, like the richest, the most successful. He's going to have that under his belt while he's going to be a shoo-in for that striker role or somewhere anywhere in the front three. So once this World Cup passes, once this season ends, I can see him either fleecing them for more money or going, screw you guys, I'm off to Madrid or something like that.
Yeah, but I thought the Madrid president said we want to deal with him again. I think the Madrid president said something like that.
So basically, this is what it is, right? So it's a 1-year contract. And an extra year at the player's discretion, so he can decide to stay on for 1 more year or not. However,
that's not a good deal for PSG, man.
Yeah, and this is the problem, right? The club that actually wanted him, which was Real Madrid, doesn't want him. So his actual viable option is either Barcelona or the Premier League.
Yeah,
who's gonna want him? I don't think. I doubt City would take him with that behavior of his.
No, not City.
No,
I don't think
Holland.
City would take him. I don't think City would take him.
I know where he's going.
I think it. You know what it is? Not even Chelsea. I mean,
Newcastle.
not even Chelsea. No, not even Newcastle. By the way, Chelsea might be stupid enough to do it.
I think United might be stupid enough to do it.
You know what it is? I think it's actually Liverpool.
No.
Come on.
It's the Nike connection. It's
the
Nike
connection.
connection. It's that LeBron James.
They wouldn't afford his pay, man. Mbappe wants money. Mbappe wants too much money. Where are they gonna dig that money? Liverpool.
But they struggled to get together the 400k for Salah.
But this is what they were talking
about.
Yeah,
but can I say something to you, Anthony? Liverpool, I think the issue they have is always they're greedy to pay out somebody. They could have paid money. They could have paid one Adam and look at the suffering in that midfielder. Instead, they kept Milner, who can twerk for change. But they did not want to keep one Adam who was pivotal in their midfield. So let me be honest with you, right? Guys, when Madrid wanted Mbappe, I thought Madrid were desperate, and they were desperate that time. Guess what? Right now, Madrid have got ballers that are looking more potential than Mbappe. Rodrigo looks like a changed player and is living to the potential of what they bought. Vinicius, right now, I'll pick Vinicius over Mbappe today. For me, I'll pick Vinicius over. Valverde has come to, oh my God, man, that Madrid
Valverde is so good, isn't it?
Wow.
The time when they wanted Mbappe, they were desperate, and we were saying Vinicius, it's just useless, it's not effective. Rodrigo, we don't know what he's gonna become. The team that they have bought, too many, Camavinga, my God, right now, Mbappe is the one who's supposed to be calling and standing outside Madrid with a radio begging for them to take him back. I'm telling you.
Don't forget about my man Benzema.
That's what I'm saying. But Liverpool would never pay the Mbappe money he wants. Trust me. No. Do you think Mbappe will go to Liverpool and say, I want to get the same money as Salah? No, he wants to be the highest paid in that club.
Twisted, yeah.
By the way, Twisted says Liverpool are scared of spending money and staying on Liverpool. Liverpool have started negotiations with Baby Keita.
Guys, hold
I
on a second.
care.
Hold on a second.
Who
Hold on a second.
cares?
Hold on a second. No, do you know why we should care? Because this is a show of intent of where Liverpool are at right now. You're telling me you're going to now sign up another injury-prone player on another contract. So if he gets
I
injured
thought they were
again,
going
what's
for
the
Jude
point?
Bellingham.
No, they're supposed to be going for Jude, but Dortmund want. I think it's nigh on
Hey,
100
Jude,
to 120.
don't
Yeah,
make
for
it
hey,
bad.
oh bro,
Does it
Sing
make
a
sense that they
sad
refuse to give
song
another
and make it
contract? Does it make sense
better.
oh
now?
my
Hey,
god.
No.
Jude.
No.
Carl,
I
what is
don't,
Carl, what is happening to this Liverpool team?
I
I don't know.
brother, I
I don't
don't
know.
get this.
Ask a Liverpool fan. I don't know, man. I just
Ask them. We have a resident Liverpool fan, but he's
Bro,
not here right now. But like, you're telling
bro,
me there's no other
biggest
midfielders
problem.
in world football these guys could go and get
I thought Klopp takes normal players and make them world-class players.
and make them
Why doesn't he go
a
buy one from the
Superman.
championship?
FSJ tax.
Bro, the biggest problem I have about all of this is, like, to be fair, I don't care whether Liverpool signs Baby Keita or not.
I am happy. I am happy. Let them
I'm very
continue
happy
what they're
about that.
doing. Yeah,
I
let them
don't care, to
continue.
be honest. But the thing is, I thought they promised that they're gonna sign a new midfielder. Number one, they
Ross
signed
Barkley
somebody called.
incoming.
I thought they signed somebody
Oh,
called
Can
Artemelo.
Anthony,
Right?
can
Oh.
I just say one thing on that? I think they thought Liverpool fans, every time when you speak to them, they're like, oh, Jude Bellingham. Jude, I think right now they might hear that. You remember the rumors by Fab and David Austin saying Jude Bellingham, more suitors have come in, like bigger
Yeah.
suitors now. I think now
Yeah.
Liverpool is sweating, saying, I think at first it was actually them just talking to him. But
Yeah.
right now, I think there's bigger people because a lot of midfielders are going to age. Kante is going to age. I'm not saying Jude is
Yeah.
like Kante. I'm just saying a lot of midfielders and teams are going to age. So I think right now teams are after him. Now I
Bro,
think Liverpool is looking at that and say, "Oh my God, we are not the only ones." What
I
attraction does
swear,
Liverpool
bro.
have? Like Liverpool fans should ask themselves, what's your attraction right now if you're going face to face against the big boys? And Jude, Jude is gonna say, "Oh, I love Liverpool, so I'm going to Liverpool." If somebody slaps more a better pay and better structure in his face,
Bro, I swear to God, right? We like, I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying Chelsea right now. We got Jorginho and Conte who are at the end of their contracts, and Conte is injury prone. Maybe he'll sign another contract or not, but Jorginho seems like he might be off from Chelsea at the end of this year. We all seen what a madman Todd is.
in the word Todd B.
Todd
I think Todd will
B.
pay. I think Todd will pay 150. Todd would pay
He's
150.
a fucking maniac. And you also seen what he has done with young players. He loves to buy young, promising players.
Okay, that did not
And
come
he-
out well, but anyway.
No, I know.
What he has
I'm
done with
sorry.
young players. Okay.
I'm sorry. Right. Let me rephrase it. Let me rephrase it.
Pause.
He likes to buy young players
Still
to
not
fit
great.
his.
Mm.
He likes to buy young players.
He likes to
to fit
invest
his.
in young prospects.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that
Thank you.
better?
Thank you. Yeah.
It's late, right? So forgive me. It's late.
That's not an
Forgive me.
excuse.
Anthony
Forgive
after
me.
hours. Okay.
But yeah, he likes to invest in youth, and Jude falls in that category. By the way, I'm not saying that Chelsea is going to sign Jude Bellingham or not, because we haven't had a link to Jude at all, and I'm not saying that he is we are definitely going to go for Jude. But what I'm saying is, clubs like City, clubs like Chelsea, clubs like even Manchester United, Real Madrid, and even Barcelona.
Barcelona.
He's right, bro.
Barcelona.
Barcelona will sell their pitch to buy Jude Bellingham, whereas
Their pitch.
Yeah,
I swear
Liverpool
they've
would
already
never
sold
do it.
that. I swear they've
wait
already
a
sold
minute.
that.
But guys, let me also be honest. I know what Carl thinks of Jude, and Carl is still watching Jude. But let's look at that. Let's look at Pedri and Gavi. I'm sorry, guys. I'm taking Gavi over Jude.
Yeah.
Is it just
me?
me, or
Yeah,
am I the only one who's
just-
taking Gavi over?
You're not the only one.
You're not the only one. You're not
Gavi
the
every
only
day.
one.
Or Or you could just figure out a way to take both and then not look back.
You're not
No,
the
you can't
only
take
one.
both anymore
How-
because Gavi has been given the contract finally.
Wait. Can we address this comment, Anthony, from Twisted? Look at this.
Yeah, Jude
This
have
is
proved
a man.
nothing.
This is
40
this
million.
show. This is a man that don't watch football. Jude has proved nothing. City
This
fans.
is the man who.
How
This
many
is by
times-
the way. Just to add context, this is a man who thinks Declan Rice is better than Joshua Kimmich.
Allow it.
Yeah, but you guys will be surprised because Carl also doesn't feel. Carl also thinks Jude is not all that.
With Bellingham, I'm getting convinced. I'm watching him. Last game he played against us is one step further for me, where I'm getting convinced.
I've never asked you, Carl. What's the thing about it? What are you looking for?
So my
Because
own thing about it is
Gavi is talented.
Yeah, but so with Jude, so when you compare Jude and Gavi, for example, Gavi is good in tight spaces, quick passing, 1-2s, very quick on and off the ball. Jude has energy, he can run, but I haven't seen him play the possession-based football that we know, right? He's more of a transition kind of player, midfielder, which is good. Can he be coached? Absolutely. And that's what I want to see. I want to see that from him.
Is he a box to box?
He's more of a box to box than he is a what I call a tiki-taka kind of player, right? Think about Bernardo Silva, the way Bernardo moves on the ball, the way that Ericsson moves on the ball, that kind of smooth, swelled kind of pass and move kind of guy. He's more of a transition guy, right? Get the ball and go forward. That's the only. It's just a preference, basically. So Liverpool, for example, right? Because that's where they play.
Mm-hmm. And for me, Gundu, this is where I was thinking, right? For me, under Graham Potter, if a Bellingham comes in, this is a big if, by the way, a massive if. He could be that Bissouma type player for Graham Potter.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is where I see. This is where I see, and we know how good Bissouma was under Graham Potter, and with Bellingham's ceiling, could you imagine what Bellingham could become?
Yeah,
I'm just going to drop a sneaky. I think Bellingham could actually come to United, possibly Donny going to Dortmund, just as a random thought here. But when it comes
to a possibility, bro.
That's not a bad shout,
bro.
When it comes to Bellingham and his ceiling and all this sort of thing, look at Jadon Sancho as the rule here. He was banging for Dortmund. He's come in and he's needed to adapt. Fair enough. It was under a poor Ollie, but look, when push comes to shove, when you're talking about clubs that are going to go in for Bellingham, Liverpool won't, because Dortmund are asking 150 million without a release clause. If you negotiate them down, it's still going to be over 100 million. Liverpool won't spend that money. City may, Chelsea won't. I don't think Bowley will go that balls deep for a junior. Well, actually, that sounds really bad. Apologies.
Bro,
strike that. Forget what I just said.
we spent 80 million one go for Wesley Fofana.
Oh, but that's
how old is he?
This is the team
Wesley
that
Fofana
spent
Wesley
84 million
Fofana
on the
is
covers.
like, bro, Wesley Fofana is around 21, 22. He's not that old.
So similar age to Bellingham. Okay, but what I'm saying here is
Bellingham is young.
Bellingham's
Isn't he like just 18 or 19?
Yeah,
No, he's like
19.
19.
I think he's not 19. Yeah, but Bellingham's going to look at his options. I don't think Liverpool will go in for him. And even if he wants to go there, I just can't see Liverpool forking out that money after Nunez, after Diaz, after all these guys that have come in.
They need to sell the shirts, bro, and the bloody ramen noodles.
City might be, City might be a dark shout because I think you might see someone else leave at the end of the season, but he's going to want to stay where he is. He's doing well, but fine there. But he's had enough progression now. I would not be surprised to see him end up at United, to be honest, or Newcastle may be a dark shout because he might actually get a position there because they'll have money. So in that regard, he needs to make a step where he's going to be guaranteed first team football, and that's what he's going to do because that's why I went to Dortmund over United at that time. So yeah, it's just a random thought there for you.
Yeah.
No, I kind of agree.
I can see that, Josh. I can see that.
Yeah. By the way, going back onto the comments, Mr. Twisted here says, never put trust in an English player. So that means we should not believe in whatever you say about Declan Rice.
English
Rice.
Declan Rice.
Declan Rice. What do you call the
Conor? Remember,
Conor Gallagher.
Conor Gallagher.
Tyreek
No,
Mitchell.
guys, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I used to think that Rice is not as good as people say. Guys,
I
that guy
do
is
still
good.
think that.
That guy, I have watched him play against City, and I have watched De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva trying to press Declan Rice, and Rice managed to get the ball out. Do you know? Do you know how impressive you have to be? Like
Rice is good.
especially when Bernardo Silva is pressing
No.
Pedri.
I
Rice
prefer
is
Pasta.
good.
Pasta is
Rice,
better than
you're-
Rice.
if you have-
Rice
I-
is
I
great. I'm
prefer
sorry.
Basmati.
Rice is great.
Pasta
Rice is
Fred.
I prefer
Pasta Fred.
Basmati.
Rice is
Pasta
good,
Pasta
right?
Fred.
Rice is really good. The problem is, I need to see Rice in a possession-based
Progressive team.
or
a
like a
progressive
progressive
team.
team, rather than like
Have
that.
you seen him carry the ball?
Oh yeah, he's good, bro.
Yeah, he's good,
He's
he's
very,
good.
very good. He's very, very good. I'm not saying that he's a bad player, but then
I'll
this
I'll
hype
take I'll take
around,
him.
right?
I'll take him at City. But just
Bro,
now we
and
have
this is the
Phillips,
thing,
but
right?
I'll take him.
I don't know
If
about
by
that.
chance, we miss out on, like, let's say if we actually go for a Bellingham and we miss out on Bellingham,
I thought you have Zakaria. Don't you have Zach?
no, but Zach is on a
Loan.
loan. But if Zach does well, he's only going to cost us like 30 million or something small like that. But if we do miss out on Jude Bellingham, and then if you see a world where N'Golo Conte and Jorginho both leave, I wouldn't mind going for a Declan Rice.
I think Rice will help your midfield.
But Anthony, here's the thing about Declan Rice, right? So this guy earns like 25 or 20,000 at West Ham because he refused to sign a contract. He has 1 year left or 18 months left on his contract. West Ham want 150 million. They're smoking crack because no one can pay that money, right?
This is why Chelsea didn't sign him yet, bro.
Right.
Because they're fucking
West
mad.
Ham have done is
They're gonna lose money, Kyle.
Hold on, Patrick. Right, what West Ham have done is the height of incompetence. Right, you got a player who you could have got at least 90 to 80 million for last season. He's going to wind down his contract, and you're going to lose him for free. Essentially, he earning 20K. You haven't signed a contract. He's gone.
Yeah.
Rice is
Leaving,
gone next
And
Bro,
it's
we
Moyes,
offered-
and it was Moyes who did that. It's Moyes who put that price tag on it.
Bro, Chelsea offered 75 million for them this season.
That's even fair.
Literally.
That's fair.
They should have taken it.
Just to test the waters. They said no, we want double
That's
that.
such fools, man. And he's such an asset. He's gonna go for free.
Bro, he has maybe 18 months or something, or maybe 2 years left. Next year it will be 1 year. If look at West Ham's position right now, they're, I think, last or something. Is it? They're
No,
like
Leicester are last.
Right, Leicester are
They're
last.
second. I think they're second or third from the bottom.
But guys, that guy
Right,
is
okay.
saucy. I'm telling you, Declan Rice is a player. The way he plays and just guides through players. And when what I like about him is I like players who, when they're under pressure, like Phillips and Rice. That's why I like both of them, because under pressure they just pass, go. They're like that's the reason why I think it's very hard for Gareth, as I said, in the CDM position. There's not really much. If you're going, Rice and Phillips are the only ones I see that. But the thing is, that's the funny thing. He's not playing possession football. So why is he going to Rice? And like Rice for me is somebody who I don't know. I just like both of them. Him and Phillips, I just find they are good. Phillips, I like him because he's very fast and under pressure. He's very good. But I also watched Declan Rice a few times. I also say I'll say in English hype. I was like, my God, this guy looks like he's.
Anthony, guess how much Declan Rice's annual salary is?
How much?
I was thinking maybe 15 to 25,000, bro.
He earns £156,000 a year, or right here.
Holy
it says here, I'm
shit.
reading it right now. That's what he earns. That's what he earns.
156,000 a year.
Pounds a
Yeah,
year.
but don't forget,
year.
Carl, don't forget also Phillips was earning peanuts at Leeds.
Yeah, but
No,
Declan
but
Rice is
still, bro, he's the captain.
That's what he earns because he refused to sign a contract.
By the way, I just have to say one thing. La Cobham.
La Cobham. Oh yeah, he's part of La Cobham. He's part of La Cobham.
La Cobham.
Oh, he was
And
there.
this is the
before,
reason.
right?
No,
Yeah.
he's an
He's
academy
good
player.
friends.
He
Great friends with Mason
we
Mount.
let him go to West
Yeah,
Ham
his
to bring
contract
him back.
expires. His contract expires in 2024.
Yeah, so to bring him back.
yeah.
So that's why we are negotiating.
Wait. So
with
next
West
year,
Ham.
next year would West Ham They would accept even 60, wouldn't they? Because they're desperate.
They have to accept something this summer. They just
I
have
would
to.
If he
assume
says,
so,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
if he
Chelsea-
says,
Chelsea
no,
will
I'm
buy-
But
not.
you know Moyes, Carl. You know Moyes is arrogant and stubborn.
Moyes may
That's
not-
his
Moyes may not
business.
be
It's
there,
not his
Patrick.
job anymore.
Moyes may not be there by the time.
Oh, it's Noble.
True.
I think
Moyes may not
Noble
be
would
there.
sell him. Noble would sell. I think Noble would see it for best for the club.
By the way, I called that Moyes might be sacked this season, by the way.
It's very
you're on
highly
track.
possible.
I called
I'm
Because-
Tuchel.
just trying.
Remember, I said Tuchel Jeremiah.
Yes, you did. You did
You
say
did.
Tuchel. You did
You
definitely say Tuchel, but like that was a shock. Even with even with West Ham, it was a shock when we called it
Mhm.
saying West Ham might get, because the problem is he hasn't. He has never been in a situation like this before. This guy, David Moyes. By the way, David Moyes, another great shout for the England manager. By the way, I'm just putting it out there.
No.
I like him.
No.
I like him.
Moisey? Nah.
I mean, better than this crap we are looking
Yeah,
at.
he would be better than Southgate. He would definitely
Well,
have
he's better than Southgate, that's for sure. I
Yeah,
agree.
that's what I'm trying to say. Like, better than this crap what we are looking at. Bro. But this is the thing, right?
Yeah,
At
guys,
the end of the
it's comparing to this crap. I think this crap is the reason why you can pick majority of the managers.
And this is the thing, right? We have to look at this crap
It could have been some
and then
other
compare.
Could have been some
I
other
remember, I remember watching the Euros final, right? So after the first goal, right, I was like, okay, let's see what they can do. Okay, maybe England, right? After like
Right.
the first half, you know what I kept saying? What the F is this?
Yeah.
I was hissing. I was annoyed. I wasn't annoyed because I'm English. I'm not English, right? But I was just annoyed at the fact that, dude, you were in the final, man.
Yeah,
What are you
do
doing,
something.
bro?
It reminds me of that meme where someone's standing over something else with a stick poking it, going, "Do something." That's what you want Southgate to do. Just do something.
Nah, like I have a mate here, right? I have a mate here who watches his footy team. This is Australia Aussie rules, right?
Oh,
And when he watches his footy team, the way he chants makes me remind of Gareth Southgate all the time, because he's like, "Said kill the football club, do something." He doesn't say like, do this, do that, or do anything. He just says do something.
go the Sydney
it's-
Swans.
Oh yeah, I'm right. I'm just saying, like, this is the thing. At the end of the day, it's I don't understand who in their right mind said, "All right, you did well at the Euros. Okay, so where do we go from here?" You know what I mean? This is the problem. This is the biggest problem that we have, and yeah. So hopefully we can figure something out with regards to it. But yeah, Josh. I'm sorry to cut you off earlier, bro. Go on.
Nothing. I was reaching down for the nut that I dropped, and I was like, kind of rolling around my fat belly, making sounds. So yeah, apologies everyone for that candid moment
Oh.
and my bad take about juniors before. I
But
cancel me.
by the
not-
way,
cancel me, not the channel.
by the way, just going on to the comments. Educate Annie, please, Patrick. I think this is what Twisted is saying about Declan Rice. However, just before that, Twisted said this: never put trust in an English player, bro. You are contradicting yourself within 7 minutes. So there you go.
Do you
Rice.
know what? The thing about it is, and I'm going to bring this also, and this is something I have to bring in. I'm
Mhm.
going to bring Jack Robert Grealish. So Jack Robert Grealish was England's star boy at the Euros. They wanted him, the next Beckhamish, good-looking fella wearing a band. The kids were wearing bands. Women were screaming his name, saying sign my shirt. Remember, that was what the Euro was. So English people like propaganda. This is what they like. So they looked at Jack. He can sell. He's always on the pictures of the jersey now. A good fella, that's what they called him, regardless his habit outside football, where we saw him with one slipper drunk off his head next to a Range Rover. But they were still covering all that. They didn't care. And they were building him up as the next Beckham, the next guy. They wanted him.
Yeah.
The news were like, how dare Southgate doesn't play this Jack guy. Do you know what somebody said? Somebody said something very smart on Talksport, and even regardless that people don't like Talksport, I like them because sometimes some of them they have somebody who says something smart. It's not always nonsense. They always sometimes somebody ends up saying something smart. Yeah, like even Simon Jordan, who sometimes is just controversial. He says some smart things sometimes. So I think it was Simon who said it. He says, thing about England is we like to build up somebody, right? We build them up, we build them up. We make them look like a golden boy. We make them look like a hero. Then, when we are tired with them, or when we see that there's some chink in their armor, or they're becoming some of the stuff that they're not doing is not satisfactory, forgetting that maybe that's even what they were doing before, we bring them down. So England likes bringing up their players, bring them up, hype them, make them the it thing. But when they see that the world is questioning them, that I thought you said so and so is that good, then they say, no, let's go with the thing because it's selling news. Do you get my point? Or let's go against our own because it's selling news. Yeah, that's what they do. Like most of the English players are good, but they're not like for instance, I'm even giving an example of Jack Grealish. The way he was built in my eyes, trust me, I also felt for the media. I'm not trying to say he's a horrible player, but they put him at like a Neymar level, or that's the level they put him. Neymar is can be a diva, but Neymar is a high level, and Jack is good, and Jack can be a baller. He's a baller. What I used to see from him before when he's playing around, he there's potential. But the way they built him, I thought this is a mega star, which at the end of the day is unfair on Jack. But now, guess what? All of a sudden, as you say, don't trust these English players. It's not them. It's the media who put these things and make us think that, look at Mount. Mount is the next best thing. Well, Mount is not all that. Mount is not what people... But people made me believe. There was a point where I believed Mount hype. I thought Mount was... I was like, oh my God, Mount is incredible. He's incredible. No.
Mount is okay.
Mount is okay. But that's the thing about England. As soon as they see okay or above average player, they make them seem like something beyond. Like, to be honest with you, if you clock it, in other countries, they would not be twerking for Harry Kane as they do here. Because in other countries, guess what they'll do? They'll actually judge you for the trophies you've won, what you've accomplished by being a great player. But guess what? England has managed to blindside its people at the point where when you question Harry Kane about trophies, guess what they tell you? It's not about trophies. I was like, okay, so it changed now because Kane doesn't have trophies. Do you get where I'm going from? So that's what England does. Yeah. They'll build up all these players. So it's never the player's fault. The player never says one word about their ability. It's just the media will paint them as the next R9. And then when they don't perform to R9's level, they're just okay or great. Then that same media will start painting them badly. And people will be like, but I thought Kane was the next R9. You get my point? So that's what I think.
100%.
Yeah. Do you know who I blame? Do you know who I blame for that though, and what I blame for that? Initially, I blame people like David Beckham. Not his fault in particular, but the yearning for so long for the next England golden age, as it were. Like you, and dare I say it, and I know not a lot of people like to mention him, but Mason Greenwood was painted the exact same way when he started coming through United. And he turned out to be a complete, excuse it, fuckwit. But in the end, I think that dare I say it, the celebrity status of the English players in the game, as soon as they're overhyped, as soon as they come out of the academy, have a couple of good games, light it up for a couple of times, and then really they're overhyped because this could be the next big thing. This could be the next massive player for the national interest of England. You see it everywhere you go. Like I remember there was a time where Ross Barkley was touted to be the next great centre midfielder or whatever for the British team, and he's gone on to do nothing. Aaron Ramsey, who's that other Arsenal midfielder? Wilshere was Wilshere. I'm sure there's a whole bunch more. There's a whole bunch more. Yeah, you're right.
And you know who they want, especially this whole, like why I give an example of Jack is because this is how they built him. They want another Beckham. You get it? they want
Yeah,
another
exactly.
Beckham, but he can't be another Beckham. He can't be Beckham.
What
And even if you
is closer to
yeah,
Beckham
look,
than
if
Jack
you
Grealish
clock,
is.
even if you clock Beckham, guys, Beckham wasn't all that. I'm sorry, he wasn't all
that's
that.
right.
Like if you look
But
at
he was
Beckham
elevated.
proper, he was just
Yeah.
built up and he was just doing good free kicks there and there, good passes. But you can't. And it's quite funny that it's also themselves who can put Beckham in their all-time greatest like mids and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like midfielders, they can't put him
that's the
because they
thing.
know quietly.
Yeah, it's because, but again, he was elevated due to his, he married Posh Spice, and the Spice Girls were huge at the time. They become this celebrity couple, and that it's the whole. I'm going to say the Hollywood, the Americanization of the sports people, because up until sort of the 90s, mid 2000s, there weren't really massive social media type personalities when it came to sports people. They'd retire, they'd go on to be pundits, and they'd share their knowledge. But now it's all about Instagram and social media, and I honestly blame the likes of Beckham. And again, it wasn't his fault for doing it, but he was a very attractive man. He went and did the modeling. He went and did this, that, and the other. He became a Galactico. He went over to Italy. He did all this globe-trotting stuff. Won titles everywhere he went. At best, I'd say he's above average player. He could put a ball on a dime for anyone that he wanted to, but when push came to shove, he wasn't Ronaldo levels. He wasn't Messi levels. He wasn't R9 levels. So everyone's yearning for this next big superstar to come through. Honestly, the best team that in my generation that England had was the Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard, that sort of era, the John Terry, the Rio, those guys, they were the best team, but they were
didn't even
used the wrong way. Used the wrong way. Yeah.
So, by the way, just going into the comments, Vader says, not to derail the show, but I have to ask the question, but no one wants to give a proper answer on this. Who has the best American owner in the EPL? And just coming on to the next thing, no one wants to claim to have the best American owner. And by the way, Twister just came back and said Josh's nuts have dropped. I'm gonna leave it at that.
On your face.
But yeah, I mean, I understand this is an England squad type of stream, but this is a great question by Vader.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like to be honest with you, I even though people might hate them, I still think FSG, regardless, people hate them. What they've done for Liverpool is great. With the little they've put in, regardless of what they've said, they still made a very competing team, right? And even the trophies they've won that are not even like, look, obviously you can't win as much trophies as Pep. Pep is incredible. He goes to places and you win 15 trophies. But I'm just trying to say FSG has actually brought them as American owners. I've actually, out of all the American owners, have brought success. Even Glazers brought success, to be honest, to United. So I'm just saying FSG did well for Liverpool. Just Liverpool fans, I think they want to blame most of the thing on FSG, while somebody said something smart, Anton, and I was like, wow. A Liverpool fan actually said this. He's like, we are all blaming FSG for blah, 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 blah. But I'm pretty sure in the room when they were asking Klopp that, do you want a midfielder or do you want Nunes to replace Mane? They decided to go buy an 85 million Nunes. Why that money? Nunes, who's gone to Wolves, is 30 million. Remember, the midfielder. So they went to buy a striker for 85 million. Why didn't they use that money to buy a top-class midfielder? You get my point? So I'm saying FSG actually has given money. If you think about it, they broke the record for a defender in Van Dijk. They broke a record for a keeper in Alisson. They paid 55 million for Naby Keita, who's been in hospital ever since he got to Liverpool. They paid 40 million for Chamberlain. Like Konote, 35 million, what a steal. FSG has actually been giving money at Liverpool. It's just the fact that Klopp is very loyal to people and ends up playing. But this is what I think it's FSG.
See, FSG have done what in a way the Glazers have done, but in a much better way. What I'm saying is that they've allowed Liverpool's money to be spent when they needed to, but
Wisely.
haven't been, spending it wisely, because the FSG group in general, the sports franchising model that they have, it's very much about where you elevate the clubs to a certain level of self-sufficiency, and you look at that brilliant shirt sales deal they get, some sort of cut from the sales overall, which not a lot of clubs get. They have to meet quotas before they sell them, but then so they've done the sports business very, very well, which has made Liverpool sustainable because that fan base is global. They have so many things going on, where FSG aren't bleeding them dry. They're just going, look, you need to be able to maintain a level of success to be able to maintain the income, and everything else is a bonus. Now, I honestly think the tides are turning. I think Bowley is actually going to do wonders for Chelsea, as much as I fucking hate to say it. But look, the Glazers.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. I got to stop you. Can you say that again, please?
No, Glazers are going to be in the mud. Cronkies in the mud. They're terrible owners. They're a poor example. Is Aston Villa owned by an American, or is that Brighton?
I am
only,
not
like that?
sure, bro.
Aston Villa, he's American, I think so.
Yeah. So they're doing okay.
So is
but
Bert.
not.
So is.
Yeah, but Villa
Yeah.
are spending useless. They've spent on useless players. I think so.
Exactly. Yeah, but if they get it right, they could be a force in the future, but not as much as established teams.
Not
obviously,
with Steven Gerrard, though.
Oh, you're kidding me? Generational.
No, I wasn't listening. I remember when Carl told me that Jared is a fraud. I was backing Jared, but now I think Carl was right. Flowers for that. This guy is a fraud.
Oh.
I think Jared is a fraud.
By the way, I would have given the flowers. My stupid soundboard isn't working.
Why are you laughing, Carl? I knew he was gonna be happy because I was defending.
We use that word fraud so loosely, man. We just,
He is a fraud, though, isn't he? Jared is a fraud. What a
it's
fraud!
hard, bro. It's hard to compete with the big boys. It's hard. I mean, even now the Premier League is so competitive. I mean, look at Leicester at the bottom of the league. Look at West Ham at the bottom of the league. Forest bought 21 players, bro. 21 players. Look at what.
Nottingham Forest,
But
I thought people are saying money wins you stuff. That's why a City wins.
But this is the thing, right? Forest bought 21 players because they had to let go of 20 odd something
20.
odd players as
Yeah,
well.
most of the players are on loan.
Yeah, and this is the other thing, right? Money wins you something, but doesn't win you everything. You got to have the structure around it. This is what I say.
And
I have no problem with clubs spending money. I welcome clubs spending money because why not? You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you spend that money?
so are we trying
Because-
to say Pep Guardiola is a genius?
Pep Guardiola definitely is a genius.
Never.
By the way, I think Pep. See, a lot of people say this is the Pep and Klopp era. To be fair, this is the Pep era. Klopp just happens to be there.
Yeah, that's true though, because even the one for Man United versus Arsenal, it was just Fergie's
Bro,
era. Fergie was slapping the guy.
Bro,
Annie,
the
Fergie
only
was
time-
slapping the guy, and
the
what
only
did he want?
time I believe Fergie was actually challenged up to a certain level was when Jose Mourinho was there. But Mourinho
But he-
didn't last.
But that's
long.
the thing.
You can't take that argument.
But
that's what I'm trying to say.
on this level, you can put Pep and Alex Ferguson on the same level, provided the Pep stays another maybe 4 or 5 years, because
Yeah.
every time a challenge came Sir Alex's way, whether it was Mourinho, whether it was
Ancelotti.
and Ancelotti,
By the way,
Wenger.
both managers
No,
sacked
Mancini.
for no
What?
reason.
No way. The Wolves manager,
What?
Really?
No.
the manager for Wolves. No.
Look, this is the
Wait,
problem,
what?
right? The Ancelotti and
No.
Jose
Say that
Mourinho-
again. We're not gonna let that pass. Did you just say the Wolves manager has been sacked?
No,
No, I don't think that's what he meant.
No, that's not what he meant. I believe, this is the thing. Jose
Oh, I thought you
Mourinho
said that.
and Ancelotti was sacked because, they didn't deserve to get sacked, and that's just what Roman Abramovich does. That's just
Yeah.
his thing. So it is what it is. But let's see, like it's the end of the day for me. It was always Alex Ferguson's era, and now it's actually Pep's era.
Exactly. And
And
that's where you draw the
Klopp-
parallel, because Wenger got the better of Sir Alex twice in his reign, 3 times,
Yeah.
once.
and Ferguson adapted. Whoever came in, he adapted, got around them, beat them. Same deal now with Pep. Pep's been 6 years, I think.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, and won 4 titles. So, in that regard, Klopp came in, won it. City were down that year, obviously, but
He's only won
now
one.
yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is Pep has now bounced back and
Mm.
won some titles again. So
It's
he's
bullying.
literally, it's a walk in the park. This has turned into a fun.
By the way, if Pep does a quadruple, for an example, quadruple in the sense 4 in a row, that's I think that's what is that a quadruple maybe?
No,
No,
it's not.
maybe.
Four on the
But who?
4 on the bounce, let's say that.
Do you know what was
That's
gonna
bloody
save
good.
Klopp? Do you know what was gonna save Klopp? It was gonna be the
Darwin
quad. If the quad
Núñez.
happened, that was the only saving grace he was gonna have to flex. If he did the quad and then went on to win those World Cup, Club World Cup, blah 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 blah, that was gonna be the flex for Klopp. But without that flex, I'm telling you, I told Liverpool fans, this is I believed it too. Believe it or not, Josh, I believed that it was a Klopp and Pep era. Then somebody sat down and was like, man, how is this? How is this
Bro,
versus?
you must
It's
be
like
fucking
somebody's
joking.
just getting beaten in the face. Like somebody's just
You're
getting slapped.
joking.
That's
By
it.
the way, just to answer Vader's question, right now we believe FSG is the
FSG,
good
absolutely.
Number two,
American
the
owner.
Glazers. Number 2, the Glazers.
Patrick
Allow it.
believes it's the Glazers. Josh believes it's FSG. I believe it's FSG, but Josh
Yeah, but the
also
Glazers
believes
just signed a 95 million player. They've given you Casemiro for 70
Bro.
million.
Get
Come
in
on,
the
man.
mud.
Bro.
Get out of here. We
This
don't
is
need
what
your
I find
negativity.
annoying. Just because they signed those players doesn't mean they're still good. Like,
Yeah, but they
does
brought
that
you
erase?
Ten Hag, man. Like they're trying their best, man.
Oh,
Glazers.
bro, I
Oh,
seen
they're
the most
trying their
depressing
best.
thing right now. I seen the most depressing thing just now. That dickhead Pulisic is injured again.
Of course he is.
Oh, Glazers,
Why
thank
are
you
you
for
shocked?
letting Manchester
I
United
can't.
spend
It's
their own
more than
watching the
shocked.
game?
I
money.
can't believe. I can't
Anthony,
believe
are you watching
Pulisic
the game?
survived. No,
You watching
no,
the
I
game?
didn't. I just.
Who's
seen
playing?
the-
Who's playing?
Who's playing?
USA, Japan. Is he injured?
He's injured.
USA, Japan, he's injured again. Oh, this
No,
guy.
he
This
just
guy,
came on the
man.
Chelsea
What's up
app.
with him? What's up with him? Guys,
He
can I say
can't keep
something though?
himself
I think
fit.
he needs to get married from the same lineage.
Yes,
Of,
yes.
he
Carl,
needs to get married.
can you call the
to
woman who married to Dembele's? I think it's
Dembele's
that family.
sister. Dembele's wife's sister. That's who Pulisic should get married to.
Oh,
Yeah, laughing, but that family seems to fix
Bro.
injuries, you know.
And also make them better players.
Oh, unlock your potential.
Probably.
But let me be honest with you guys. This myth of saying Pulisic is not a baller, it's a lie. He's a baller, but there's just something going on with the guy. I think
Bro,
Pulisic
this is the issue, right? I have no problem calling players ballers or not, but my first preference, my first and the most important preference is I don't know. This is what I always say: availability is your best ability, regardless of what it is.
Oh, that's
I
genius.
agree with that.
That's genius. Bars.
I agree with that.
If you're
Bars.
not available, you can be the best baller in the world, the biggest baller in the world, or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
That's my Friday. That's my Friday sentence there, right? Word right there.
Is it?
What are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna attribute it to you, Anthony. I'm gonna say attribute it to Anthony, but that's a good.
Bro, don't
Oh my
see,
God.
use it as much as you want, because at the end of the day, bro, it is true, isn't it? What are you gonna do having all that ability, staying on the medical bench?
Absolutely, 100%.
I
It's
feel the same way
useless,
about
isn't
Phil
it, bro?
Jones.
I'm sorry, Josh. This is not went with Manchester United
Josh,
time.
what's Josh? A question for you, Josh. Just writing on that. Phil Jones, what's in his mind? What's he thinking?
He wants to run his contract.
He's just,
Ask
no,
Ed Woodward what he was thinking.
no. Phil Jones is an anomaly, and not in a good way. He's literally just He's not been named in any squad, but he still hasn't left the club. He's got to be
Incredible.
He is the example that cockroaches look up to how to survive nuclear apocalypse.
Oh my!
That's me.
No. I'm saying his survival rate is epic. I'd love to
It
see his
is,
kill
it
streak
is,
on.
man.
I'd like to see his kill streak on COD or something.
Smalling was the one who's supposed to be surviving in that team. Smalling, not him.
By the way, after saying
Smalling's
all of
decent,
that,
though.
I just read what Pulisic's injury is.
What's
It's
that?
actually it's actually very negligible. He's only not in for this game. I'm sorry, Pulisic. But I am right, by the way. I
is
am
it?
right about him. He has
What's the
spent
injury?
apparently a small knock, and he has not been risked for today's game.
Pull too hard on his groin.
Most probably, because that's what
Oh my
they say.
God.
He picked up a slight knock in training, so will not be risked in today's friendly against Japan. But Pulisic's
Dembele's wife,
slight-
if you've got a sister, please.
By the way, Dembele, if you're actually watching us, bro, we need you. We need you to save another brother's life. This is Christian Pulisic, your brother from Borussia Dortmund. I am appealing to your humanitarian side.
Humanitarian side.
Please assist your brother like you assist Lewandowski, like you assist your other people at Brocolona. Please assist your former brother in Christian Pulisic achieve his true potential by actually being available. But that's it, boys. Continue.
Bravo.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
that guy is never available, bro, for anything.
No.
No. He's
It's
another what
actually-
if player.
Bro, Thiago Silva being 38 gets injured less than him. I
Yeah.
can't believe it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Yeah. That's reasonable.
And by the way, apparently Liverpool was looking at signing Christian Pulisic.
That was just a rumor, from what I understand.
So are we on loan?
Oh,
Imagine.
shit.
Oh, fuck that.
Nobody needs a Christian Pulisic unless
Nope.
he's fully fit. Unless he's fully fit.
What, for 3 games?
Yeah. But we're going back into the comments. Are clubs prioritizing commerciality over ability?
So you haven't been watching Man United for the last decade, then?
I think a lot of them are trading it off in some ways, yes. I'd agree with that.
By the way, Pep is levels above Fergie.
This fucking Fergie
No.
agenda, he won't drop it.
No. Let him have it. Let him have it. Let him
I
have
don't
it.
know
No,
about
let Twisted have it. Let Twisted have his
I
day.
can't let that slide.
Josh,
if
don't
Pep-
bite.
Look,
Don't
no,
bite.
no,
Josh,
no,
don't
no.
bite.
By the way, Josh,
listen now.
what we will do is we'll let the City boys agree or disagree with it first.
No.
And
I
as
mean,
a
Alex
United
Ferguson
fan, you
won
can give
13.
your thing.
See, so Alex Ferguson won 30 Premier League titles. That's just a crazy argument.
Yes,
it's
there
just,
you go.
you can call us
Very, very honest. And I think that argument speaks for itself.
Yeah. No, yeah. So it's. I mean, let's keep that. 13 Premier League titles is no joke. Yeah, just
It's more than that 13, Gundo, more like the way
not
he
13
won
Premier
it.
League titles, two Champions Leagues, right? He lost 2 to Pep, but still, it's. I mean, that's just even Pep will say, "Leave Alex alone." He's
Wait, hold on. Can we just remind ourselves, like you said, Gundo, he Pep's only 2 Champions Leagues are to Sir Alex.
Yeah, I mean, he beat him twice, right? So it's maybe that's where the debate is coming from, but in the Premier League, Sir Alex clearly.
He's the dude, isn't it? He is the guy every other
He's
manager
the
looks
godfather.
up to.
He's the
The
godfather.
manager is
He's
the way people speak. Who was it? Kieran Richardson on one of these podcasts the other day said Ferguson was so good at what he did, management wise. He had his hand in everything in Manchester, so he knew when certain men were going out to parties, club owners would be like, "My guy's here again this week." He already knows. He knows before you've even thought about going out to the club. He knows you're going.
Well,
The
that's
only
the,
problem
I mean,
is
that's the model that's the model that Pep is following, right? It's the Alex Ferguson model where he's refreshing the squad even before we think it's ready to be refreshed. Sterling going away, Jesus going away. It's what Sir Alex used to do, right? Get rid of them before they tank, and then
100%.
refresh the squad to compete.
And
by the
that was
way,
going to be my sort of talking point about that. If Pep is there for another 5 years, which on my case I hope he's not, but if Pep is there for another 5 years, regenerates the squad somewhat, gets a Champions League and a couple more titles, I'd say he's in the same bracket, regardless of proof of the amount of trophies or whatever. But the fact that, because Pep's never stuck around to actually fully refresh, reinvigorate, and build another squad to compete yet again. He's just sort of been the 4 or 5 years, 3, 4 years, never really done a full.
But isn't he doing it at City where he's breaking down the squad and building them again?
Yeah, he is, and that's what I'm saying. He's in that mold. Give it a couple more years, and if he's done it, then you know.
Yeah, I think if he stays, he'll be scary. I think it will be scary if he gets comfortable at City. You're right, Josh.
But I think like what Josh is saying, to the level of what Sir Alex did, for that extent, at least to get him into that ballpark figure. However, in saying that, how lucky are we to actually see both of these managers?
It's incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. We take for granted the rivalries there. We talk about the rivalry, we troll each other. But if we step back for one moment and we look at the Premier League as a whole, and we think about what we have now in the Premier League, Conte, Ten Hag, Guardiola, Klopp, we had Tuchel, we had all these guys who are here. It's magic. It's on. Go to Spain. Who do you have? Ancelotti and everybody else. Maybe you have Xavi. Okay, fine. Okay.
Xavi still hasn't proven anything yet, isn't it?
Simeone.
You have Nagelsmann and you have who? Marco Rosa, and okay, good, right? Go to Italy. Who do you have? Allegri, who's failing, and then who?
Yeah,
Jose.
Okay, Jose. Okay, good. But in the Premier League, all these managers, every single game means something. There is no game that doesn't mean anything. Every game means something. Either someone's taking points from City, someone taking points from Chelsea. It all adds up at the end of the day. So it's 100%.
But see, that's the other thing. It's not even just this generation. Like, I think people sort of oversight, just even though Fergie was dominant for so long, but even in that era, you're looking at people like so right now you've got sort of Pep and Klopp at the top tier, but below that you've got the Conte, let's just say Tuchel. Possibly say Ten Hag.
Can I ask something about, right? Okay, so Klopp has won the Champions League. I get it. He's won the Champions League, and that's what. So basically, the difference between Klopp and Ranieri and Conte is the Champions League. Because if you think about it, if you talk about Prem, let's talk about Klopp in the Prem. What's special about him? I know people are going to say, "Oh, the points he reached." No.
Let me try to answer
that. When you lose, because at the end of the day, Ranieri won it, right?
And let me try to answer that, Patrick. Let me try. So I know that Liverpool are a rival. I get it, okay, and I don't particularly like Liverpool, but. Guy, to lose the Premier League with 1 point, 92 points, 98 points, that's a hard thing, brother. It is hard, man. To lose one game all season and lose the Premier League. Think about this. 38 games, you lose one, and you do not win the Premier League. And the team that wins it loses two. It's... So you have to give him kudos for doing that. To be able
I mean, this is the thing, Gundu. I think we do give him.
Yeah, we do, but I think it's when Liverpool fans are trying to hype it too much. But if you look at the Chelsea team, remember that Chelsea team? How incredible that was. Remember the Leicester's team. What I'm saying, that if you talk about achievements and the time when if I sit back talking to let's say if I had grandkids right now, I would be saying, there was Ranieri, there was Conte's Chelsea team that was impossible. And
there was Jose Mourinho's Chelsea team. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but you get my point. It's like if you talk about the Prem, just the Prem itself. Yes, he's lost it and he's trying this. But if you talk about winning, he's won one Prem, and some people like Ranieri also achieved the achievable. So I don't know. I just hate the fact that when the English media are hyping him as if he's gonna be one of the legacy managers.
This is the problem, right? It's the communist Merseyside who is doing this.
Communist
See,
Merseyside.
that wasn't even my point though. My point was that for so long, this has been Pep's
Did you say
dominant
what?
era.
What did you
Isn't it?
say? The
It's
communist?
the
Communist
communist
Merseyside.
Merseyside.
Hold on, let's hear Josh.
Communist
Let's hear Josh. Hold on.
Merseyside. It's
Josh
a real
is making a
thing.
point. Let's hear Josh. Go ahead, Josh.
Joshy, bro, go ahead.
Yeah. No, see, that wasn't the point I was making. What I was saying was that we are so fortunate over the last 15... Okay, let's just say since the start of the development into the Premier League, that there's always been the world's best managers in there at some point during that time. So we go... So the best ones at the time, you'd have Mourinho, Pep, Ferguson, arguably a little bit Klopp, and whoever else previously. That's sort of where my knowledge goes a bit skew-if. But what I'm saying is that the next tier below was still world class. So your Wengers, your Klopps, your Contes, Tuchel, not so much. But I'm just saying the levels of
What?
the levels of managerial.
I think he's talking
quality
about the
had-
Premier League, man. What does Tuchel achieve?
Premier
Prep?
League. But what I'm
right,
saying
okay.
is that
My bad.
we've always been blessed, and we've always
You see the
oversighted how
mistake.
much
Do you see that,
quality
Josh?
there's
That's the
been.
mistake people have. When we're talking about
Yeah.
Prem, we're just talking about Prem. And if you put some certain managers in a microscope in the Prem, you
Yeah.
find even somebody who managed, like let's say the manager who Nuno, who managed to get Wolves in that first season so high in the table. That's a better
Precisely.
achievement than some of these guys who've come to these big teams and done nothing.
Yeah.
And this
Exactly.
is why one of the other reasons why I believe, like a manager, like for an example, number one, Eddie Howe getting an opportunity at Newcastle United is very good for him, and we see these guys getting that stepping stone. Also, even Graham Potter. A lot of people were saying that Potter needs a club to step up towards a club like a Chelsea or something like that. I kind of disagree with that. I think he is capable of doing what he needs to do,
Mm.
because I believe Graham Potter is actually a very, very good manager
He's a very
in
good
his own
tactician.
right.
Yeah.
In his own right. But this is the beauty of the Premier League, isn't it? You got managers who are managing teams such as Brighton, who were managing teams such as Brighton, or managers like Eddie Howe who were managing teams like Bournemouth, and your what you call your Moises, who are managing West Ham and so on and so forth, who are able to put up a good fight against your big boys or your traditional top six and actually get a result out of them more often than not. And this is why people, some people get it in their head saying that, oh, you're calling the Bundesliga a farmers league, but look at what City is doing, they're winning it so often. Isn't that called a farmers league?
But City are struggling to win it. Like, it's not like people. Do you know the only time we walked? Carl, I don't know if you agree with me. The only time we walked over this league is that time when we left a gap of 25 points.
Yeah.
That's the time we walked over this league.
It's not as easy as people think. It's just that City are
It's
incredible.
yeah. But it's an agenda. It's like me and Carl, we are City fans. We watch City. Carl, don't we go for the second half? You and me calling each other saying, "What the fuck is happening to us?" Like, there's struggles, isn't it? There's
All
a
the
fight.
time.
Yeah, there's a fight.
All the time.
But go to Bundesliga when Bayern go on fire,
All the time.
they walk over somebody. 40 minutes, the game is done. 40 minutes,
Yeah,
it's dusted.
and that's why they are able to compete in European fronts better than English teams, because they actually have a fight on the weekend.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's so simple as that.
We've had
We can
games
give an
where-
example. Last season, Madrid were done with the league already.
Yeah.
Why they hadn't played like 15 games still, or 10 games, they were done with the league. All they were doing is playing the second string team.
Good to go ahead, bro. Sorry.
There was
Sorry
a
to
game
cut
that
you.
recently that we played. I think it was I can't remember what game it was. Was it the
Wolves
Dortmund game?
also. Wolves.
No, it was okay. It was a Dortmund game where literally at halftime, it was when we played Mahrez and Grealish. That was it. One game where we played Mahrez and Grealish. And
That was the Dortmund game, I believe.
I lost a lot of hair because I was furious. I was livid. I was boiling. You know why, Anthony? I was boiling because Patrick and I, once we saw the lineup, we knew exactly what to expect. We knew exactly what to expect. Every play, Mahrez goes out, comes back in. Grealish gets the ball, comes back in. What are you doing?
Yeah.
if Pep knows that this inverted wingers with Grealish and Mahrez doesn't work, why does he persist? When on the bench you have a dynamic Alvarez and a dynamic Foden, and when they come on, the game changes. So why persist? So it's not easy to say. It's easy. A Farmers League, it's not.
Oh, Carl, somebody told me the other day that Pep is a very sick man. He says Pep knows he can walk this league easy, but he purposely throws these spanners to make things exciting and fair.
No
I laughed the other day. I was like, sometimes you think so, isn't it? Gondo, when you see the lineup, you're like, is he doing it purposely just to say?
I think he does it.
Let me flex. Let me flex. Let me flex.
No, so this is the other problem, isn't it? Like it's all well and good that us hyping up like Jurgen Klopp and so on and so forth. Like, look, this is exactly why I call them communist Merseyside. And if they want to take offense for it, I don't care. Take offense for it. It's all good. Like I could give a flying fuck, to be honest. The reason why is all summer they were saying, "Oh no, we don't need a midfielder. It's all well and good, As soon as Klopp comes out and says, "I think we need a midfielder," they were like, "Oh, we knew we need a midfielder." This is why I say it's communism. It's all on one man. They got Kim Jong Klopp in.
I don't know.
Wow.
Kim Jong Klopp doing his thing.
Allow it.
Kim Jong Klopp in communist Merseyside doing his thing, bro.
I mean, Klopp is Klopp, right? He is what he is.
I just don't. I used to respect him until I remember Carl used to tell me that be careful with this guy. I used to respect him, but I saw he's such a sore loser. I've never. Carl used to tell me, Patrick, look back. This guy has never congratulated anybody when he gets beaten. Josh, look at his interviews. It's true. He never says congrats. He never says congrats.
No.
All he says is the win or the pitch. Oh, witchcraft. That was the new one.
Witches in the stands.
That's
That was my
the
favorite.
Witches in the sky. Oh my god, that was too funny.
Yeah, that's my only problem with the guy is that he doesn't he's not graceful when he loses, right?
But this is the other thing, right? He actually complains that this opponent played a low block.
Yeah, he expects all of them to come and play out against him. I'm like, no, please, come on. You don't think
Why
that
should
really?
they? What is wrong with him?
No, I think he's just salty. Think about it. He
Kim Jong
was in
Klopp.
he was in Germany at Dortmund, and who did he always finish behind? Oh, Barcelona. He's now come to the Premier
Bayern
League.
Munich,
It's
you
Liverpool.
Bayern
Oh,
Munich.
sorry,
They might as well
sorry, Bayern Munich. But then, hey, we'll go to the Premier League. Liverpool wants us. We'll rebuild. Oh wait, who's that in front of us? Man City. He's in the exact same position he was in the German league. No wonder he's fucking salty.
Yeah, it's so bad for him. See, nothing against Klopp. Fantastic manager. I think all of us agree that he's a fantastic manager.
No, but we can't take away that from him. Like I give him that credit. Yeah.
But be a better loser.
Yeah.
Be humble.
I think that's
be a better loser.
Be a better loser.
But you know what? Let's be honest though. Klopp is the first loser in the Prem. Let's be honest, because and look, I feel sorry for him. I think Kao is right. Imagine every season. You like the thing about City is City lose games, right? This is what the funny thing is. Every time City beat Liverpool drop they only lose one game all the time. So the defeat for Liverpool is always draws. But Pep said something smart. He said drawing is worse than losing. He says I'd rather draw than go on a run of 7 or 8 games in a row winning. But what I notice is Klopp goes on draws, and if he starts drawing, it's draws or defeats. But he only gets one defeat. So Klopp looks at his table and say, "My God, I only lost one game. City lost 4. And City have picked up the title. Why? Because I was drawing. Like at the end of the day, I feel maybe that's what has destroyed the man. But the thing is, somebody just also told me that once texted me and say, "Patrick, do you know that Klopp has never had to rebuild a team? Last time he tried to rebuild a team, Dortmund were at the bottom of the table."
And by the way, this is one of the reasons why I actually like Thomas Tuchel, because whenever he loses or something, he actually honestly says, "I lost because of this."
Do you remember the fight though with Conte?
bro, that was good. That was
Yeah, man.
wonderful. That was wonderful to see. That's how a
Awesome.
rivalry at least
That's
happens.
been Chelsea's best game. That game against Tottenham.
Oh, bro. But this
Yeah,
is the thing.
exactly.
But at least to be fair, I think a lot of people would agree that was a bit of a weird one with regards to referees and so on and so forth.
Oh,
But
yeah.
at the end of the day, I believe we have lost track of time. We have gone on to 2 hours talking about England and
Wow.
so many
2 hours.
random things, boys.
It's
Incredible.
midnight. Holy shit.
Oh
It
shit!
is
It's
midnight.
midnight for you guys.
It is midnight for
After
us.
my day, I'm about to go out now.
And it is actually, and as Patrick said, it has made me a better man because I got married a couple of months ago, and it is my wife's birthday today. So I need to
Go and give her present right now.
exactly. hence why I need to run away because it's midnight. You know what I mean?
All right, man.
Giggity.
Bro, it has
Giggity,
made,
giggity.
I'm like Dembele. I'm reborn.
Oh.
Just don't pull a Hemi. Just don't pull a Hemi mid-match, will ya?
Bro,
Oh,
look at
man.
Dembele, bro. He's unstoppable. I am unstoppable.
We'll see.
but anyway, Joshy bro, Josh, Patrick, Gundu, Annie, thank you for coming on. Wonderful to have you guys here. I think the
Thank you
chat
very
was
much, yeah.
really good today, and I think a lot of people actually enjoyed what we did today, and also people in the chat, Vader, Twisted, Eddie, and many others who actually sent us their chat or who will be watching this on the playback. Thank you for watching, and please share it, like, comment,
Anthony.
and subscribe. Yes, bro.
And before you leave, Cristiano Ronaldo has been charged for a breach of the FA rule for that incident at Everton.
Oh shit! Really?
He's been charged.
What?
So
stage did
but when he
Hit
really
the phone
struck
out of
that kid's hand with the first, yeah.
Oh, so
bro,
what
that was
happens
last
to him
year?
now?
That was last
I
year,
don't
right?
know. I know they're just charging him, so I'm guessing
what?
they're looking into it. They're just looking into it.
Wow. There is so much more other issues like trying to fix VAR than smashing a kid's phone, to be honest.
I know.
I'll leave it at that
Priorities.
because my priorities are a bit different, because at the end of the day, having a game properly refed is better than buying a kid another phone, to be honest. So
100%.
it's not a really big deal in my eyes.
Yeah, the mom. I think he wanted to pay for the phone. Then he wanted to invite them to a game. I think the mom or dad refused.
Yeah, apparently I heard that the mom said the kid was emotionally scarred.
How
the hell do you get emotionally scarred by getting your phone
It's
smashed?
money. It's money.
I would
money,
never know.
man.
I think somebody does that out of anger because you put it in their face. I think if they call me as a parent and say, "Oh, here is an invite to the game," he'll get a time with his hero Ronaldo, who is a Ronaldo fan. Look, I know people are trying to say have more, but at the end of the day, that's what you want. This whole thing of saying, "Oh, let's milk it," is just milking it purposely. Just get the
Bro.
tickets. Ask for 50
but
grand to keep quiet or something,
you ain't gonna want to watch United last season. You're gonna watch them this season. That's what you wanna watch.
Okay. By the way, like, I'm not sure whether in any other channel you are allowed to talk this way, but I think this is one of the channels where you can actually be free and talk this way. Like,
And say whatever you like.
you can say whatever you want, and
Shameless.
that's the beauty of what we are
Run
trying
your
to do here.
agendas.
You run your agendas, you say whatever you want to say. Like me, for an example, Kim Jong-un. I am not going to stop saying that, by the way.
Oh, before we close and say goodbye, can I say one thing?
Yes, bro.
Anthony will score 3 goals max this season.
Oh, could you imagine if he's got one already? So,
oh shit!
If it
By the way, Pat, in the Prem or for the whole year, like Europa League,
in the Prem, I have to start an agenda against the United player. So
in the
Anthony, 3. You know what? I'll say this, and he'll go on and score against City.
By the way, this is him scoring goals, right? Not assists or anything.
Because I think the
Let's
guy the
go.
guy the guy is just does show for no reason. Like what was that thing with the leg, flapping the leg and the passing the ball backwards?
Oh, he's a equestrian, bro.
Yeah. So anyway, we're not gonna keep you late. You're saying it's your wife's birthday. And let's not get you in trouble.
Oh, bro, she's sleeping. I'll wake her up.
He might like being in trouble.
Okay. On that note, that's the end of the show.
But yeah, once again, boys, thank you for joining us today. I think we had a wonderful chat, and I think we actually deviated from the subject, which is the England squad. I think everybody did understand where we are at this point in time with regards to Mr. Gareth Southgate. He's a
Yeah.
joke. So
Bumgate.
Bumgate, yeah, definitely. So he is definitely a joke. But yeah, thank you, Gundu. Thank you, Annie. Thank you, Pat. Thank you,
No
Josh,
worries.
and everybody in the comments. Twisted,
Anytime.
Eddie,
Twisted, big up.
Vader, and everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Thanks,
Thank you.
boys. And as always, thank you. Goodbye. God bless, and
See
good
you.
night.